Welcome back to Witch on the Holy Night.
On the Holy Night.
More witch. More witch.
Witch. Anyways,
Last we left off, I don't know how you left off because I wasn't there.
That's fair. We left off.
Soujyuro was asking Tobimaru on advice.
Yeah. He was. Tobimaru was like, "Dude, if she doesn't fucking like you, she doesn't fucking like you. But try flowers. Goodbye."
Yeah.
And hangs up.
Yeah, he called him at like 10 a.m. He was talking to a 6 a.m. Tobimaru. Dude had not gotten out of bed.
Me too.
He was dead tired.
I don't have to go to bed early, but I have to actually get up like before 2 p.m. because there is a place near my house that sells bagels, like really fucking good bagels, but they close at 2 p.m. for some ungodly reason.
What?
Darn.
So like they're open from like 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you have to get them within that time span. Otherwise, no bagels for you.
Oh, okay, sure.
It makes me sad.
I guess
they're so good bagels, so I'm okay with it.
I guess they bake like one big batch, and then after that's done, they just close up.
No, they make it throughout the day.
Why is it only at 2 p.m.? That makes no sense.
That's what I ask myself every day.
Gatekeeping.
They
gatekeeping the bagels.
They gatekeep the bagels.
They do.
Yes,
Anyways.
like gatekeep bagel.
After the phone ordeal, Soujyuro finished up his shopping and returned to the mansion just before noon. And then he died. He was greeted by the sight of Aoko and Alice sitting in silent gloom. Though unsure of the circumstances, from the outside looking in, it seemed like the aftermath of an argument. It was similar to the calm after a violent blizzard, accompanied by biting winds and stinging hail. Or a similar atmosphere to the inside of an industrial freezer. It would not have been surprising to look up and see icicles hanging from the ceiling.
やっぱり今日もか。
They're at it again.
He felt like a zookeeper, pained to see the raccoon and penguin at each other's throats. He had seen this at his job at the zoo when he was a cleaner. Soujyuro found himself staring at them with the familiar forlorn look of the zookeeper.
You disappoint me. How dare you?
How goddamn dare you. Hold on. We're taking a picture of it.
Of course.
It's important. It's important.
Alright, you good?
Yes.
Alright.
Needless to say, the silence meant that they were not fighting at the moment. Dinner served as a respite from the infighting. Soujyuro was oblivious to the circumstances surrounding the quarrel, but their day-in, day-out battles against the mysterious mage was clearly taking a toll.
もっとも、アリスはいつも通りだけど。
Not that Alice looks anything but grumpy.
Facing a quiet and contemplative Aoko, Alice was reading an old book, now sat on her lap, as she was accustomed to. The book seemed somehow heavier than the other ones.
ただいま。
I'm home.
詰まってるな。
Looks like I made it in time for truce.
He asked them as he took off his coat. There was no question. If only, a truce would mean we were getting somewhere. No, you're way off, Soujyuro.
Eh?
Without quite knowing what Aoko was getting at, Soujyuro quizzically tilted his head. He told himself not to think too hard about it, but he could not entirely help it. Besides, truce would mean an agreement had been reached.
進展がないって意味合いなら
This is more
行
of
き詰まっ
a
てると言うべきね。
temporary ceasefire. Seemingly too preoccupied to scold Soujyuro, Aoko waved her hand as though shooing off an insect. But Soujyuro, being Soujyuro,
じゃあ言い直して。
Okay, let me rephrase that.
いや、あれか
So,
ら進展はあったかい？
any progress then?
Soujyuro was not willing to give up and held his ground.
宗十郎には関係ないわ。
That's none of your business.
こっちの事情に関しては不可侵だって
What did I
言
tell
わな
you?
かった？
Mage affairs are not for your ears. Her response was calm, but sharp. Surliness?
Surliness, I think.
Surliness was her weapon of choice, and today she seemed determined to swing it at will.
もちろん聞いてる。
Yeah,
ところで、
I remember.
お昼はまだだろ？
Did you two eat yet?
Soujyuro chose to brush off Aoko's attitude. If Aoko's weapon was surliness, Sojuro's was
Blitheness?
blitheness.
Sure.
Sure. And he wielded just enough to make Aoko flinch.
どうしたの今日は？何かいい
What's
ことで
with
も
you
あったわ
today?
け？
You're more upbeat than usual.
I'm always upbeat.
Yeah, but more than usual. Soujyuro shrugged his shoulders.
まだなんだ。
I'm not sure.
じゃあ、
I just have a good feeling about today. Oh, by the way, I have a proposal for you.
He said as he dug around the pocket of his now hung-up coat. Aoko gave a puzzled stare while Alice's ears perked up at how positive he sounded.
実は今日、給料
I
日だった
got
ん
paid
だ。
today, which
お
means I
金も入
got
ったこ
money,
とだし、
which means we should go out and do something.
Them leave the house?
The gasp.
He spoke with a warm smile as he removed his wallet from the coat pocket. The other two did not know what to make of it.
宗十郎。
Soujyuro? She wanted to take exception to his bright mood, but found herself wrestling with the idea of reacting positively to it. After all, he was making a gesture of good faith to try and make things better with what little funds he had. I wonder who keeps fucking taking all his money. The thought itself was not a bad one. And she wanted to accept his earnest goodwill, but there was always the chance that Alice would keep quiet until the slightest thing annoyed her, at which point she would dash all of their plans. However, she was not in the mood to walk around town with either of the two, nor was the timing ideal.
悪いけど、今忙しいの。暇になった
Sorry,
ら思い出
but
してあ
I'm
げる
kinda
から、
busy.
しばらく
I'll
我慢して
take。you up on it some other time, though. Just remind me. Alice seemed to give the same response, though wordlessly. Soujyuro was not about to be held back by the sullen mood.
忙しいって。
Busy
こ
doing
こで
what?
黙り合ってるだけ
Sitting
じゃ
here
な
in
いか。
silence?
徹夜漬けの時、気分転換は必要だって言
Wasn't
った
it you,
のは神
Wowzaki,
崎だ
that said
ろ？
a change of pace was
行
important
き
when
詰まった
staying
ら
up all
回り
night?
右して戻らないと。
Sometimes
どこに
you
も
need
行
to
けない。
take a step back to take 2 steps forward.
Soujyuro spoke with unusual confidence as he drew 2 tickets from his wallet and slapped them on the table.
They're going to the aquarium.
Oh my god, aquarium date? Is this the date episode?
The gasp.
Group date!
Group day.
At first glance, they looked like advance tickets to a movie, but not quite. They were tickets to a famous aquarium. For a minute there, the seahorse I thought was like a weird possum.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see it.
To get there, they would take the rapid train and subway to a city several times more modern than Misaki. A city that housed the biggest shopping mall in the prefecture, set to open next year, as well as a multi-purpose auditorium big enough to stage international conferences and famous plays. Clearly my brain is thinking of anime conventions.
Me too.
それと夜はメシアンでカレー
Oh,
でも食べて
and
くれ
eat some curry at Messian?
Messian?
Oh, and eat some curry at Messian. On me.
Saying that, he slapped 2 bills on the table, as if he had struck it rich. It was Soujyuro's turn to make dinner tonight, after all.
じゃあそういうこと
Be
で
seeing ya. Oh, he only got 2. He doesn't have one for himself. Damn.
Finished saying his piece, Soujyuro returned his wallet to his coat pocket. It was then that Aoko realized what Soujyuro meant by be seeing you.
ちょっと待った。そういうあんたは
You
どう
mean
す
you're
るの
not
よ
coming with us?
今日はアルバイト
I got work tonight.
Soujyuro was almost too quick with his response, helping Aoko to see things for what they really were.
Damn. It's not a... I love how this game is like a love triangle.
I mean, yeah.
God dang.
It's a yeah.
It's a love triangle. I can't believe
It
it.
is. I don't know how I feel about it.
It's just very funny to me.
That's fair. I'm not usually a fan of love triangles.
Fair enough.
Rather than for Soujyuro's benefit, his gesture was instead an attempt to ease the tension that had built up between Aoko and Alice. Though if asked, both girls would tell you it was an unnecessary gesture. However, for him to pay this much attention to the household, if anything, gave Aoko reason to reflect on her own immaturity. Really? Now? That's what we're doing?
Character development?
Character development? Finally? Oh my god. Aoko glanced over to the still-seated Alice. At the same time, Alice peeked up at Aoko from behind her book. They kept still, staring at each other.
私は構わないけど、
I'll go if you
今
go.
やれることは
I'm
全部やっ
almost
てあ
done
る
with
し
my。book.
そうね。
Okay.
そういうことな
If
ら
you wish
せっ
not
かくだ
to.
し。
Alice stood up from the sofa, resigned to her decision. Soujyuro watched on, a satisfied smile upon his face.
Yay. My friends are getting along.
Yay, friendship!
20 minutes later, they returned. As Aoko and Alice were done getting ready, Aoko called out to Soujyuro in the drawing room.
それじゃあ出かけてくるから、あんたもバイト。
Alright, we're leaving now.
Soujyuro?
Soujyuro? Soujyuro was crouched in front of the television, unaware that the two had entered the room.
Crouched in front of the television. Dude was watching TV.
もしかしてビデオいじってるの？
Don't tell me the VCR is on the fritz again.
ああちょうどよかった
Oh,
青
hey.
崎これ
Good timing. How do I...
As he turned to face them, he froze. Outfit change. and facing them only exasperated the problem.
私たち
You
言
okay?
葉に甘えて出かけてくるけ
Listen,
ど
we're taking
Gusto
you
mo
up on
yun,
your
Ito?
offer and going out.
棚の後ろに落とし物でもし
Did
たの
you drop something behind the TV unit again? Soujyuro appeared to have gone stiff. Ako stared at him curiously. Though Alice silently nodded along with his bizarre reaction. She kept her thoughts to herself.
いや、
No.
なんか
It's just this
Still gawking, his voice stuck in his throat. He was blissfully unaware that the shock he was experiencing was the direct result of his emotional state.
それじゃわからないってば
Spit it out already!
まったく
God,
落ち
I
着い
wish
てる
your
くせに
weird
妙に挙
reactions
動不
made
審なんだ
sense
から
sometimes.
アリスに
Does
冷
Alice
た
have
がら
something
れ
on
て
her
も仕方
face
ない
or...
っていうか
Alice looked on in silence. He was not confused or in a daydream. That much he could tell. But this frozen look was by all accounts a first for Soujyuro.
それで何かあったの
So what is it then?
ああ、いや、
oh
これなんだけど
this thing here.
青崎、
How
ビデオっ
exactly
て
do
どう
we use
使うん
it?
だ
Shaking his head to regain his composure, Soujyuro pointed to the VCR. A VHS player sat on a shelf beneath the TV.
何タイマー録画でもするの
What? You want to record something? Alko walked over and crouched next to Soujyuro in front of the TV.
いや、木の実からビデオを借りたんだけど
No, I just borrowed a video from Konomi, but it won't play. Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
It's the friggin' like dangerous animal documentary that he gave him, right?
Oh my god.
Is that it? I think that's it, right?
I hope it is.
Ah, crocodiles.
Crocodiles. Ooh, jaguars.
Jesus Christ. I wanna
Can you
see
imagine?
Soujyuro
Can
just watching like a friggin' David Attenborough documentary.
Can you imagine? They come home from the aquarium and he has like written down notes about like each animal they talked about, and then like when they all sit down next time to eat together, he's like, it's like quiet, and he goes, "Did you know that alligators and crocodiles are fundamentally different things, even though they fall within the same amphibious family?" I don't even know if that's true. I just said something.
I mean, crocodiles and alligators are definitely different.
Well, yes, but they're not amphibious.
No,
That was something I just made up.
they're both crocodilians, but they are not both. But they are both different parts of crocodilia.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, obviously you've got a crocodile and an alligator. And of course, above all, there's a scalligator.
Jesus Christ.
Very important.
Did you know that crocodiles have the strongest bite force of any animal?
I did know that. That's what I was going to say, but I wanted to make something a little funny.
まずテレビの電源が
All
入っ
right,
て
all
る
right. Here, how about this one? Did you know the jaguar means he who kills in one leap?
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, that comes from the I believe it's the Nahuatl, the Aztec language for meaning of jaguar means he who kills with one leap, which is a badass name. Let me just say.
Did you? I forget which country it was, but there was a country at one point. I don't know if it still does this, but like there was, I don't know if it was like an ancient language or something, but like any cat-like creature was a jaguar. So tigers were orange jaguars. Like just everything was a jaguar, and I forget why.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was so weird. I
Jaguar.
think it's because it's a jaguar.
Jagger.
Jaguar tiger.
Jagger moves like Jagger.
Moves like Jagger. Or Tagwire.
Tagwire.
It's a
Fair.
Tagwire.
Tagwire. Yeah.
Anyways. Well, for starters, the TV isn't even turned on. With a click, the TV set flickered alive. Oh,
Ziggy.
this takes me
チャ
back.
ンネルを外線に合わせて
I used to have this kind of TV
Fair,
at my
yeah,
grandma's
same.
house.
The old VCR.
Mhm.
You can watch some One Piece on this thing.
I used to watch Sailor Moon.
Yeah. It's always in better quality on the on like tube TV, you know?
Fair. Next, you have to switch to the video input.
あら意外にも真っ黒
That's weird.
木
It's
の
all
実くんのことだから
dark.
テープ頭から
I'm
録画してると
I'm
思ったけど
surprised the recording doesn't start from the very beginning. During this time period, videotapes were still rather expensive. Therefore, it was only natural for people to not want to waste a single second of the tape's 120-minute capacity.
割と趣味には気を使う性格なのね
Especially considering how serious he is about his
早送りっ
hobbies.
と
Oh well, I'll have to fast forward. It just starts moaning.
Oh no.
Alco picked the small remote up and quickly pushed the button marked forward. FWD. Hmm? The VCR beeped in protest.
Soujyuro was just watching. So was Alice.
He hasn't put the video in. Can you imagine?
Oh no.
With several clicks and thuds, there was an empty whir from within the machine.
壊してないぞ多分
Hey, don't look at me. I didn't break it. I think.
Look at his puppy dog eyes. The vast majority of people who say this are actually very prone to destroying electrical equipment, but that is a separate matter.
おまけにテープが入ってない
There's no tape in here. As soon as the words left her lips, it all made sense.
テープ
Tape?
Soujyuro imagined adhesive tape, clearly confused.
宗十郎木の実くんから何か渡されなかった
Did Kinomi give you something?
渡されたけど
You mean the
ほら
thing on the
テーブル
table?
の上
Oh my god, it actually isn't.
Alice has put her hand up.
Yeah,
to her
Alice put her
mouth.
hand up to her mouth. She
Like,
is
oh.
literally just watching.
Though she should have been used to it by now, she caught herself wondering if Soujyuro was being stupid deliberately.
木の実くんが何て言ったか覚えてる
Soujyuro? What exactly did Konomi say? Do you remember?
テープ貸してやる
Yeah, he said, I'll totally lend you this tape. When you get home, just watch the TV.
一番大事な言葉が抜けてたわけ
Great.
ね
So he left out the most important part.
はあ失望を通り越して怖くなるわ
This is so sad, it's almost
あっさり
scary.
順応しているよう
Just
に
when
見
I
えてこ
thought
れ
you
だもの
could
ね
be normal.
どんな口のあたりな毎日送ってんのよあんたは
How you could make it through a day is a mystery to me. Exasperated, Alco fetched the tape in question. It was labeled Wild Animal Kingdom African Adventure.
Oh my god, it actually is the documentary.
It's the documentary. Good. To Alco, this not
Hosuke?
Hosuke Kinomi down a level on the ratings file she'd kept with the student council.
Oh my god.
でこのテープをデッキに入れて再生すればいいの
You put the
爪
tape
は
in
折
the
ってないか
VCR
ら
and push
録画ボ
play.
タンだけは押さない
The
ように
tab
ね
isn't broken, so just be careful not to hit the record button.
爪とは
What's a tab?
ここテープの側面にへこみがあるでし
See
ょ
the indent on the
こ
side
れを
of
カ
the
バー
tape
している
here?
のが爪
The tab is this little plastic cover.
これを切り取っておくと
If
も
you
うそのテー
snap
プは上書
this,
き
if
録
you
が
snap
できな
this
くなる
tab
のよ
off, you can't record on this tape anymore.
そうね
How can I explain
例える
this?
なら授業のノート
Think of it like a notebook for class.
大事なものだから消しゴムで消えないようにフィクサチーフをかけたっていうか、
fixative
ヒューマンエラーを
over the
物理
page,
的に防
so
止する
it can't be
アナログな
erased.
防御法ってわけ。
It's like a physical barrier protecting against common human error. She inserted the tape into the VCR and handed the remote to Soujyuro. Just this small interaction used up a fair bit of Aoko's patience. Can you imagine they get to the aquarium and she starts screaming at a jellyfish because her patience has been all used up?
Oh my god. He's smiling.
Completely ignorant of Aoko's feelings, Soujyuro gleefully pressed the play button.
Oh my god, aminals.
And
前から危なっかしいと思ってたけど、
I was afraid we weren't going to make it. We were going to make it this far for a second there. That was a bit much, even for someone as out of place as you are.
あんた山で何やってたの？
What were you doing up there?
空手家じゃあるまいし、
Don't tell me you were
熊を倒
some
す修行で
karate
もしてた
master training
とか言わ
against
ないでしょうね。
bears or something. Whether or not she knew this was rude, Soujyuro glanced at her with disdain.
それは
Was that an attempt to
もしかし
insult
て
me?
俺をバカにしてるのか？
He's learning.
心外ね。事実バカにしてるんだけど。
You mean just now? Or all the other times? Aoko answered unapologetically. On the TV, a crocodile's yawning mouth appeared.
Oh my god, crocodiles.
Crocodile.
Crocodiles.
そんなバカな話があるもんか。なんで熊を倒すために修行しなくちゃいけない
Ah,
ん
don't be
だ。
ridiculous. Why would anyone train against bears?
Soujyuro turned towards the TV in a huff. I imagine he's like got his knees up to his chest as he's like sitting on the floor. Perhaps because of his rare outburst, as he turned face to face with the gaping maw of the crocodile on the TV, he fell backwards in surprise.
Eh.
Alpo?
Alpo.
Aoko unpursed her lips upon seeing this, delighted. It was relieving to see the boy disarmed.
けど青崎、
Hey, Aozaki, these machines have gotten kinda rusty. Kinda
掃除はして
dusty.
いないのか？
Don't you clean them?
私はあんまり使わないし、
Why bother?
アリスは見ないから今までほっぽってただけ
And
よ。
else doesn't watch TV.
ダメ元でトレーニング用に買ってもら
Bought
ったん
some
だけど、
exercise
飽きちゃっ
videos
た。
to train with, but
イメ
got
ージで
bored
どう
of
にか
them.
できる問題じ
I
ゃ
would
なか
have
ったっ
thought
てい
you
うか。
actually need to do the exercises instead of just watching the damn things. That's why they're called train
Aoko,
at home
really?
videos.
That's a Soujyuro thought.
Truly. Aoko shrugged at her past superficiality. And Soujyuro was led to believe yet another falsehood about modern life, that VCRs would go out of fashion.
That's actually a truth.
That's a very big truth. We got flat discs that do the same thing as the bulky boxes.
And even those are starting to get out of fashion.
Yeah. People are going back to
それじゃあ
books,
留守番お願いね。
rental sites. Well then, we're off. Try not to burn the place to the ground.
バイト、本当はないんでしょ？
And in case you were wondering, I know you were lying about going to work tonight.
So does that mean you're going to watch animal videos with me?
Not on your life.
Oh.
I'm gonna go watch real animals. Bye!
Imagine he calls up Tobimaru.
It's like, Tobimaru, you wanna come over? I'm alone. He's like, I wouldn't go near that haunted house if you paid me.
He's like, okay, can I come over to your place? I got a cool video.
I got a cool video for my other guys. You wanna look at it? You wanna join me?
It got a crocodile on it.
It got a crocodile. Alco said, smiling as she walked out of the drawing room.
Oh.
Her grin was the cheap shot that left Soujyuro speechless. As he scratched his cheeks, he was reminded of how she was not someone to be trifled with. After watching the end of the drama between the other two, Alice made for the reception area as well. Left alone in the room, Soujyuro took his seat on the sofa. Well, it was certainly not easy making everything run smoothly around these parts. Until they came back, he could enjoy his crocodile watching in peace. I got really confused about that for a hot second.
Fair enough.
Because it was...
I am David Attenborough, and you are watching Planet Earth. Yay.
Fun fact, we actually had a school field trip one time to I believe, like, Disney Planet Earth.
Oh, that's cool.
Like the first one, and I had to leave because I got really nervous because it was like a bunch of elephants trying to protect the baby elephants against like a bunch of like, I think like it was like cheetahs or maybe it was leopards.
Not lions?
I got nervous. Maybe. Well, I feel like they had spots is the thing, so I think
Oh.
they were cheetahs.
Hmm.
But I got really nervous because I didn't want to see a baby elephant die.
Oh, fair enough.
So, and I don't even know if it did die. I don't know. I just know that what I did was I said I had to go to the bathroom. But you know how like when you're in, like when you enter, there's like that hallway basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stood in that hallway.
Ah.
I didn't leave. I just waited. I just waited until I thought it was okay again.
Oh, fair enough.
I think I was like, I had to have been like at least 10, I think, when that happened. I don't remember. Well, I probably was more towards like 8 or 10. I don't know. We can Google when the movie came out and then we'll know. Anyways. They took the subway from Misaki for 6 stations. That's a lot of stations.
It is.
From there, they rode another 3 stops by express train. After about an hour, Alco and Alice arrived at Arisaka Station. While Misaki City was a mixture of old and new architecture.
Textures, yes.
Arisaka was a brand new town built in accordance with recent government ordinance. It was as though an entire town full of tall buildings sprouted up in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
Oh. It was near the end of December, in the middle of winter break. Even the bustling plaza in Misaki was quiet compared to Arisaka in the evening. Whether its huge mall full of countless specialty stores or its crowded multi-purpose auditorium, there really was something for everyone here. For that reason, beyond its local residences, Arisaka's station was crowded with people from far and wide.
へえ、あれが新しい演劇ホールか。県
Cool.
内最大の
This
コンサートホールら
must
し
be
いけ
their
ど、
fancy new
中はどう
performance
なってん
arts
だろ
center.
う。
It's
なん
supposed
か
to have
周り
the
のビル
biggest
より背が
concert
高く
hall
ない？
in the prefecture. I wonder what it's like inside. Look how much grander it is than the buildings around it. They made their way to the aquarium, weaving through the crowds. Alco might have been used to city life. but Alice was silently anxious. The people passing by must have thought this pale girl out of place, which Alice happened to agree with.
来年夏にはビッグアーティストも来日予定。
Oh, it says a big artist is coming summer next year.
ちょっとこれ
Oh
日
my
本
god, it's
初ライブよ
Pink
アリス。
Trudy! Alice, this says it'll be their first live performance in Japan! Alco exclaimed, overcome by excitement. This kind of pop rock band was right up Alco's alley, but naturally, Alice did not seem very interested.
それよりセレモニーに予定されてい
I'm
る
more
ポーランド
amazed
楽
by
団
the
の方が
Polish
驚きだと
orchestra
思うけど。
they've invited to open for them.
I think that's Polish.
That says Polish. The Polish orchestras that they've invited to open for them.
There you go.
随分とお金がかかっているような。
This must be costing them a fortune.
ほんとこれも
How incorrigible. Alco cursed under her breath before hurrying along. Goddamn motherfucker. Underneath the construction map read, with the support of the Kuanchi group. Doesn't that name sound familiar?
Interesting.
The aquarium they were looking for was on the top floor of a massive building. Tokugeki!
Totsugeki!
Totsugeki! Maybe it was because it was no longer a new attraction.
Totsugeki jump scare.
Absolutely. Or perhaps it was because the first floor cinema drew the crowds. But with only a few people scattered around the entrance, the atmosphere inside was very calm. Not quiet, but desolate. And far removed from the hustle and bustle outside. Perhaps they were going for the museum-like vibe. Alice quietly caught her breath, staring in awe. Like a child seeing the circus for the first time. Her eyes were wide in anticipation and wonder.
お、気に入ったみたいね。
It's to the ladies' liking, I see. Good, good.
ソウジュロおすすめの物件
I
は
guess
気
Soujyuro's
難しい
idea
ア
was
リスさんの
totally
お
off
眼
the
鏡に
mark,
叶いましたか
Alco found herself smiling as well. Yeah, another Totsugeki jump scare. The
Totsugeki.
tickets. Totsugeki.
Totsugeki.
There was a certain joy in seeing Alice's wonderment.
別に屋上にある水族館が珍しいだけ。
I just find rooftop aquariums to be kind of novel. According to the guide on the wall, the entrance to the aquarium was nearly as big as the Kuwanji Mansion's foyer.
Wow.
That's a big entrance.
Hmm.
The outdoor penguin show was apparently suspended due to the star penguin Flippy undergoing treatment for an injury.
No!
Not Flippy!
Oh, Flippy.
He has a family with Floppy!
I'm so invested in Flippy already.
You can't tell me that they didn't put Flippy with another penguin named Floppy.
Real.
Can you imagine if they put Flippy with a goddamn penguin named like Samantha?
Nah, imagine.
Imagine.
Nah, you can't do that.
That's illegal. An unfortunate state of affairs, but one that did not stop Alice from continuing to read over the guide. Apparently she was quite familiar with penguin shows. Why?
She likes penguins.
You know what? Her color palette says that.
Fair. She is
There.
an inverse penguin.
True. Currently. Said like someone who could not believe what they saw. Alice quietly whimpered, as if holding back a scream.
何々どうしたの
Huh? Oh, no, this is... Huh? Something the matter? Alco said, still looking at the floor plan.
Oh no.
Oh my god, Alice looks like she's in pain.
She's distraught.
Poor Flippy.
Something has happened.
It was rare to see Alice getting this emotional outside of the mansion. For some reason, she was trembling. Nothing seemed terribly off about the aquarium's offerings.
ゾウガメがいない
There's no giant tortoises. Oh, damn.
Dang.
That's why I decided to come.
Eh?
No, what?
話が違うわ青子
It's all
どうしてゾウガメの
wrong,
展示スペースがな
Why
いの
is there no giant tortoise exhibit?
どうしてってそりゃ
Why?
ゾウガメぐらいになったら
I don't
もう
Are
ほ
giant
とんど
tortoises
陸上
even
生物だからじゃない
Maybe
大きい
it's
し
because they take up too much space. She like whips her head around. How dare you!
なんでペンギンはいるのに不公平よ
Why though? They have penguins. It's not fair. I think this is gonna be
This is the thumbnail.
Probably.
Alright, tell me when you're done.
I did.
Okay,
It's all
cool.
good. I need to
イル
make
カだって
a
許せないわ
just a button press to just do it instead of like moving my mouse. I need to figure out how to make that keybind.
Fair.
Ugh. Look, they even have a dolphin. This is absurd. It was a bitter pill for Alice to swallow.
Alice, I'm sure that they have, like, sea turtles, alright?
But they don't have giant tortoises. The idea that they did not have a giant tortoise, despite having a dolphin, had Alice's eyes hot with indignation.
あー言われてみれば確かに
Now that you mention it,
ペンギンとイルカは定番
if
なのに
penguins and dolphins
な
are
ぜゾウガメだけ
standard
外されるのか
fare, you'll
ちょっ
have
とした
thought there
日常
would
の
at
落
least
とし
have
穴
a
ね
giant tortoise. What were they thinking? Alco said, certain something like a giant tortoise would be boring and unpopular.
How dare you?
How dare you? She was sensible enough to read the room, however, and kept her thoughts to herself.
アリスこっちチケットはあるからそっちに
Let's
並ぶ
go,
ことはないわ
Alice.
よ
We have tickets, so we can skip the line. A few moments after the giant tortoise fiasco, presenting the tickets they received from Soujyuro, they headed towards the once popular entrance. From the entrance.
You good?
Yeah, my nose started tickling.
Oh. Nope.
From the entrance gate, the corridor stretched into a dark hallway, completely illuminated in blue. Figures and faces became mere silhouettes in the darkness. Not a darkness born from magecraft, but a man-made area of twilight.
Oh.
I want to see a jellyfish.
I want to... Fair.
I want to see jellyfish with beautiful lacy legs. Or tendrils, whatever they're called. A world of shadow and blue, the only light being from the illuminated tanks. The two witches continued walking down the artificial ocean corridor. Water tanks like windows into hundreds of different worlds, each with their own separate temperature and environment. A snapshot of the same place at different times. Mesmerized by the refracting images of the ocean floor, conversation grew sparse.
そういえばアリスの家ってあれだけ
That
大
reminds
きいのに
me,
プールとか
Alice.
ないわよね。
You have this huge
Nande?
mansion without a pool. What's up with that?
呆れた。
Figures.
水槽を見
You
て
come
何
to
を
an
想像した
aquarium,
のかは
and
聞か
that's
ない
what you
けど、
think about.
必要ないものを欲しがるのはあな
Wanting
たの悪い癖ね。
superfluous
Alco.
things is a bad habit of yours, Alco.
Oh, gee, you think?
必要ないってことはないんじゃな
A
い？
pool isn't
水遊び
superfluous.
はこっちよりそっちの
Besides,
方が
aren't
馴染み
pools more
深いでしょう
common in
ね。
England than Japan?
もしかしてアリス泳げない？
Could it be that you can't swim?
泳ぎの経験ぐらいあるわ。
they could teach Soujyuro to swim.
夏は湖で何度も遊んだもの。
I've spent enough time in a swimsuit. I often swam the lake as a child.
私、大型のセント
And
バ
I
ーナー
never
ドにだって
once
負けなかっ
lost
た
a
のよ。
race to our big Saint Bernard.
セントバーナードって
A
アリ
Saint
スさんったら
Bernard?
もしかして
Wait,
息
don't
継ぎ
tell
とか
me.
苦手か
You
しら
had trouble with your breathing, didn't you?
この世で最も聞きたくない言葉
Don't
の
tell
一
me you
つ。
also had anemia.
Oh my god.
Spare me the swimming lesson.
クロールとかバタフライとか
Crawl.
発明した人は半分。
People who invented those were okay,
Oh,
never mind.
sorry. Probably have fish, I think.
Probably. I
Yeah.
don't know.
We'll probably have fish anyway, I think.
We'll probably have fish anyway. I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know until this is uploaded.
Click, click, click. Their pace was more delicate and solemn than a stroll along the beach. Oh, I do have to say, so we went to the New England area in Connecticut.
Mhm.
We went to we went to Mystic, Connecticut. First of all, beautiful, love it there.
Right.
Secondly, for some reason, my stepmother and my brother both were like, we passed a beach, and my stepmother was like, pull over, we want to go like walk on the beach. This was like in, I think, February that we went, and they wanted to put their feet in the water in a northern state in February. Needless to say, it was really fucking cold.
Right.
And my dad and I were sitting on there was like a little miniature cliff that where we could like see them from, and me and my dad were just like, "It's cold, isn't it?" He just goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Should we tell him?" No. It's like, let them make their own choice.
Fair enough.
Their conversation continued, but was only particular for being in particular. What?
The conversation continued, but was only particular for being in particular.
Okay, I don't like that sentence. My brain says no.
Fair enough.
In here, the only thing to do is look at blue screens and fish.
Fish.
Fish. Fish.
でも驚いた。あんなにあっさり館の留守を
I'm proud
任
of
せ
you
るなんて。
Leaving him
あい
alone
つが
in
こ
the
っそり
house.
西館に入る
You're
か
not
も。
worried
と
he'll
か
go
考えなかっ
snooping in the
た？
West Wing, are you?
I mean, you know it's forbidden.
Yeah. It's forbidden!
彼、そこまで考えなしじゃないでし
He
ょ。
can't possibly be that foolish.
それに、
Besides,
それに、それならそれで
He'd
手
save
間が
us
省
the
けて
trouble if
せ
he
いせい
did.
したそうじゃなくて、
it's not that.
一度交わした約束は
I just don't
破らない
think
ん
he's
じ
the
ゃない
type
か。
to break his word. Are you saying that he possibly could become a hero of justice?
Like Gasp.
Oh my god. That he was not. Alco nodded, her long hair waving back and forth. However, just because he won't go into the West Wing doesn't mean he won't open the door to maybe a girl in a green outfit. Please, God, where is she? I just want to see her again. We've seen her once. Can we have her again? It's not even like a decision issue that we didn't see her again. Because we have no decisions.
Yeah.
Give me her. Ah! Shakes violently. A certain gleam of surprise in her eyes. Onward, they meandered to the next aquatic world. Clack, clack, clack.
Okay, but like, show us the
ところ
fish.
で水族館は初めて？
By the way, is this your first time at an aquarium?
これで2度目。
Second,
昔友
I
達
went
と
with a
2人で
friend
行った
long
きり。
ago.
嘘？本
No way, really?
当？本当。6年以
Yes,
上前。
really. More
ま
than
だイギリ
6
スにい
years
た
ago,
頃。
when I was still in England.
I'm betting there were giant tortoises.
そうじゃなくて友達の方。
No,
Anta,
I mean the
you
friend
didn't
part.
like
I
the
thought
dog.
you said you didn't have any friends.
昔の話よ。
That was
私たち
a
同
long
じ
time
名
ago.
前だったの。
We even had the same name.
Oh my god, not this again. No, 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 no.
It's Alice and then Alice in all caps.
Alice in all caps. No, no, no.
We have a what is the girl? We have a caps lock John.
Caps lock Chan. No. No. I'm not strong enough.
But I am. Pulls out the whole like round table.
Jesus Christ. Alice in all caps. And Roa, Alice.
We got Rallis.
Alice Kawunji in all caps. And Roa, Alice Kawunji.
No.
Alice Nanaya. Anyways.
それが縁でよく遊んでいたけれど、長続きはしなかったわ。
We used to play all the time, but we fell out of touch.
そっか。あっちじゃそう
That's
珍
right.
しくない名前な
That
の
was
ね。
supposed to be a
アリス
pretty
って
common name over there.
こっちで言うところの
Here it's
涼
all
子とか花子みたいなもの。
Ryoku or Hanako and such.
ええ。青子とか赤子と
Indeed,
か。
our names
黒子とか白子み
referencing
たいなものよ。
colors like Alko, Akako, Kuroko, or Shiroko.
後半はみんな普通名詞なんですけど。
They do all end with. Oh no, that's.
Yeah, that's
They do all. They all. They. Fuck. They do all end with "come," don't they? It's kind of like how some girl names, like you just put IE, makes it a girl name.
fair. Billy
it
instead
earlier.
of a Y, it's IE.
Hmm.
It's like a-
Or oh, what's the most common one? I'm trying to think real quick. Hold on. Or like, I mean, Taylor is unisex, but or like how you. Something that I always thought was weird is that there's two different ways to spell blonde, depending if you're referring to a man or a woman,
Oh, fair.
which I just think is weird. Or like Ellie,
Yeah.
things like that. Or Allie,
Fair, yeah.
all those. Usually just two letters and then you add an IE.
It'd be like that.
To each their own. A society of names. Or I guess mine is you have Ab or Abe, then you have like either you add another B and an IE, or a B and a Y, make Abby.
True.
I don't know, human names are weird. The swirling of the waters was dizzying. Much like the hectic world of humans. The hands swung back and forth as they walked towards the next world.
そういう青子は彼をどうするつもりなの？
Incidentally, Alco, what exactly is your plan for him?
どうって今の一件を終わらせるまでおとなしくしてもらって
once our current
落ち着い
issues
たら忘
resolved
却の
and
ルーン
things
探
calm
して
down,
なかったこ
of
と
all
に
the
するだけ
room
でし
for
ょ？
erasing his memory,
これ以上
he'll
迷
forget
惑
we
かけ
ever
られないわ
existed.
よ。
He won't be bothered. He won't be a bother for much longer.
それは私に
A bother to whom? Me?
あ、うんそうそうに決まってるじゃない。
You know, me.
ところでこの
And
魚
you?
綺麗よね。なんか泳ぎたくなってく
This
る。
fish is really
アリ
pretty.
ス、
It makes
来
me
年
want
の
to
夏
go
は海
swimming.
にでも行ってみよ
Hey,
うか。
we should go to the beach next summer.
海ってあの
The beach? You mean by the ocean?
もちろん
Of
夏の海って
course.
言ったら
You know,
灼熱
under
の
the
太陽
hot
と
summer
砂浜
sun and
水
turn
平
your
線に沈む
toes,
夕日
watching
っ
the
てね。
sun set on the horizon.
今年は行けなかったけど来
We
年は
couldn't
一緒
go
に行か
this
ない？
year, so why don't we go together next year?
呆れた。
Your
本当
optimism
あ
is
なたって楽観
exhausting,
的。でも
but
そう
that
ね。
does sound nice.
夏
If
ま
we
で生
manage
き
to
ていられたの
survive
な
until
ら
next summer,
そう
that
いう
is.
こともあるかもしれない。
Clack, clack, clack.
Kind of sad we don't see any fish.
I know, right? I want a big jellyfish.
I'm sure that we'll see big jellyfish
I
in
want
the
a
anime
big
movie.
jellyfish. I want a big jellyfish, or at least can we see a clownfish? Just something. They have to have the cute little. Where's the wave pool? Where's the touch pool where you get to use 2 fingers and you go over the top of the fish?
Fish.
Like the little baby tiger sharks and stuff.
The stingrays.
Mm-hmm. But no manta rays.
No manta rays.
No manta
Too big.
rays, sad. Too big. The 2 girls journeyed to the next oceanic wonderland, mutually taking in the sights. The visitors to these winter wonderland. That's not what that says. These winter waters had begun to leave, satisfied by their touring. This just makes me want to go to the aquarium.
Same.
Ugh. The sound of their footsteps heralded their farewell. An hour into the wayfaring sea voyage, losing themselves in the maze-like corridors of seemingly endless exhibits, they somehow found themselves on the next floor. Alco had heard that the aquarium was situated on the top floor, and was shocked to find out there was yet another above. It was likely by design that the actual top floor could only be accessed from within the aquarium. Moments of intrigue such as this are what attractions are made of.
アリス？
Alice? Turning this way and that, she found Alice had disappeared.
Oh no.
What? She had just been there, however, and Alco took to looking for her. She soon found her nearby. Did she find a giant tortoise? Her white overcoat shone brightly in the front of the dimly lit exhibit.
Did she find a giant tortoise? Did she find a she found a sea turtle? Like, did she find the penguins?
What did she find?
Huh. What is she looking at?
She was staring motionless into the water tank.
Huh.
She almost looked to be staring through it, distracted by something.
どうしたのアリス？気分でも
What's
悪く
wrong,
なった？
Alice? Are you feeling okay? She spoke, hoping to snap her out of it. Alice's typical cold aura seemed to have all but left her.
珍しい魚でもいた？それ、
Is it a rare
余り物を
fish?
端に追いやりま
This
し
is
たっ
the
て
tank
感じ
they
の
use
水
for all
槽
the
だけど。
fish that don't fit anywhere else. Alice gave a non-committal response. Just ahead of her gaze was a single shadow.
わお、マンボウ。
Wow, an ocean sunfish! Alice remained motionless, unresponsive to Alco's sarcasm. She stood in silence, watching the poor little fish drifting lifelessly in the tank where they put the fish that did not fit anywhere else, here at the end of the hall. Have you ever seen a boxfish?
I have.
That's a really weird question. Okay.
Yes.
At the aquarium that I went to, one time I went and there was a boxfish that was yellow and black, and so I just called it a taxi fish. And that's just what that reminded me of. Because it was in a similar tank to what they're looking at, where it's like it was very calm.
Ah, I see.
Yay! All of the aquarium memories are coming back into my brain.
I really want to see this scene in the anime
Animated?
movie. Yeah.
Ah, same.
I want to see the fish.
I just want to see the anime movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. The flat stomach
just all
fight
I want.
ought to be amazing.
That fight would be so fucking dope. No, you know what scene I really, really want to see? I want to see the scene where the puppet puts a 1 on the people who've died.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Thing. Do you remember
That's
that?
got to be creepy as hell.
That I want it. And it's like as it's like mumbling to itself and shit. I want that.
Yeah,
that
for
whole
sure.
scene with the it's gonna be so good.
Mhm.
Anyways, to put it lightly, sunfish were not especially pleasant to look at. Are they?
No,
think
I
I've
like
seen
them.
a sunfish. Time for Google.
No, they're big. They're big. They're
'Cause
flat.
I think I know what a sunfish looks like.
Yeah. You know a Lomomola,
Sunfish.
the Pokemon? A Lomomola.
Oh yeah. Why are they called sunfish? They don't particularly look like the sun.
I mean, I believe it refers to them basking out atop of the surface of the water in order to, and looking as if they are basking in the sun.
Oh my
I
gosh,
think
they
so.
get big.
Yeah, they are the largest fish, barring whalefish, that is. Largest
He's a big
largest bony fish, I think.
He's a big boy. They
Yeah.
got little guppy faces.
Yes.
Anyways, when looking at one, it begged the question of what direction evolution was to take with it.
Fair enough, I guess.
That's kind of rude. It looked like it swam using rudder-like fins on its top and bottom, but lacked the grace of other fish. To Alco, its eyes, body, and strange movements made it an awkward creature. But
ねえアリス、あっちの水
hey,
槽見ない？
Alice, let's check out the
ジン
whale
ベエ
shark
ザメの
exhibit
回遊
over
と
there.
か見目
Sounds
麗しい
really
わよ。
exciting, don't you think? Alice unmoved, fixated on the sunfish. It clumsily drifted around the tank, occasionally bumping into the glass as it turned.
Aw.
Oh, goofy guy.
この子、泳ぐのが下手だわ。
This little one can't swim well. Alice extended her fingers toward the glass, then retracted it, feeling childish.
ま、いっか。
Well, whatever.
愛嬌だけ
I
はある
suppose
しね、
sunfish
な
have
ん
their
ぼ。
own charm. It did not seem like Alice was going to budge. Resigning herself, Alco stayed with Alice while she stared at the cushion-shaped fish.
へえ、マンボウってフグ目だったんだ。
They have eyes like
何々
pufferfish.
マンボウのメスは
It also says
一度
here
に
that the
3億個の
females can
卵を海中に放出
produce
す
more
る
eggs
地
than
上
any
で
other
最
known
も多くの
vertebrate.
卵を産む脊椎
Up
動
to
物だよ。
300 million
な
at
る
a
ほど
time.
ね。
Neat.
Huh. I didn't know that.
他の魚たちにとっちゃ格好の
The
餌に
babies
なるか
become
ら
prey to other
多く産む
fish,
こと
so it's
それ自体が生存のための手段になるわけか
so in a way giving birth to so many is a means of survival for them.
Yeah, fish and amphibian births are kind of like that. Reptiles in a way as well, but yeah, since they don't, usually care for their young. With some exceptions, notably stuff like seahorses.
I know that with ostriches, as soon as the mother lays the eggs, the male has to protect them because as soon as she lays them, she doesn't recognize them as her babies.
Right.
So she'll try and like murder them.
Right.
She'll try to fucking murk them.
Yeah.
And so the male has to defend the babies.
Right. It'd be like that.
Nature.
Speaking of,
It's
let's
like-
check back on Soujyuro.
Oh my god.
He's like just jotting down notes on like lions.
He's like, okay. And then the lion, the boys have fluffy faces, and the girls have little fluffy faces. And the ladies murder more.
On that topic, there is sexual dimorphism between gorillas, actually. I was watching a streamer, and some guy was getting a little, was like he was using like a picture of like a gorilla, and was like, all right, these are female gorillas, I guess. And like somebody like sent in a chat and was like, actually those are male gorillas. They have sagittal crests, and no one knew what he was talking about. Sagittal crests are a sort of head lump on the forehead of many primates, including, I think that also includes stuff like chimpanzees, but I'm not entirely sure. At the very least, they're present in gorillas. And so yeah, they male gorillas have like enlarged skulls. It's like a large like it's a large like crest on the top of their head. I believe that some hominids had them as well. Some like human relatives, that is, had them as well. Modern day Homo sapiens don't have them, of course, but
Yeah.
they sometimes appear in females as well, occasionally, but that's kind of like how some female lions some female lionesses are also born with manes and exhibit male-like behavior, stuff like that. But yeah,
Born with too much testosterone.
yeah. This one's just gonna be full of animal trivia, huh?
Yeah, it is. This is what we give. I mean, I don't really know a lot of animal trivia, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I'm giving with the little information I have. Though Alco seemed taken in by the biological details of the fish, Alice couldn't have cared less. She was lost in the ebb and flow of emotions between wonder and woe with every clumsy bump of the fish into the glass. When, out of nowhere, she softly spoke.
さっきの話だけど
About before.
さっきの話って何
Before? When?
彼について
About him.
留守を任せるとか
About leaving the
Sorry.
house in his care. It seemed like Alice had returned to her normal self. She thinks the fish
that
reminds her
the
of Soujyuro.
sunfish reminds him of yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it.
Fair enough.
The way they're describing it, with it being like bumbling around and hitting the glass every so often, I feel about right.
I see, yeah.
That cold aura. Wherever inside the mansion or out, that stubborn chill that pushed people away was back.
私の気が変わったわけじゃないわ
I haven't changed my mind.
依然として彼のことはわからないも
He is still a complete
んわからない
unknown.
人を
How can I
どうやって
trust
信
someone I
頼す
know
ればい
nothing
いの
about? Have you
まあね
thought of asking questions?
でもじゃあどうして
I guess. But then why leave him? But then why let him?
青子のことはわかるわ
Because I know
あな
you,
たはいつも
Aoko.
正しい選択を
You
す
always make the right decision.
る。だから
So,
青子を信じる彼の人間性は信じてもいい。
Aw.
it was true. She didn't know Soujyuro, nor had any intention to. But because of her trust in Aoko, she could trust in Aoko's decision to allow him to stay. It seemed Alice was challenging her own feelings. She said she could not trust someone she didn't know. Or in other words, she wished to trust a person in order to she wished to trust in other words, she wished to trust the person, and in order to do so, she needed to know more about them. I feel that.
Yeah.
That's important.
口にするのはなんだから突っ込まないけどね。
Well, I don't really know how to respond to that, Alice.
それより何？そんなに私のこと信頼
I
して
have
くれてたの？
no
アリス？
idea you trusted me that much.
ええ。
Why?
好意はともかく信頼だけ
I
はし
do
ているわ。
trust you. I may not be fond of you, but I trust you
だって共犯者でしょ。
because we're partners in
私た
crime,
ち。
aren't we? Her white coat swayed to and fro. Just like that, their short excursion had come to an end. Oh, they're not gonna go see the sharks?
No, the whale sharks.
No little babies. Straight ahead was the exit back to the real world. A step away from the exhibit was a step toward becoming better roommates. Oh
Aw.
my god, they
優
were
しい顔
roommates.
をしているのに傷だらけね。
Such a kind face, but so clearly scared. One last small whisper. And with that, she bid farewell to the lonely figure in the tank.
Now let's check back with Soujyuro.
The sun sets early during winter, falling below the horizon by 4 in the afternoon. Evening seemed to arrive at the mansion earlier than in the city.
なるほど。君の生態は
I
よくわかっ
see.
た。
Now I know all about crocodiles.
Soujyuro sat alone, sipped his warm tea in the chilly room.
Whoa. Whoa. Closest descendants of dinosaurs. And next to birds, of course.
Okay. Maybe I'll ask for something on these dinosaurs next time.
Whoa. Death roll.
Now I can understand the memes. He relaxed on the couch, staring out the window, having had his fill of crocodiles. Once he sprawled out on the sofa, his body refused to move. Maybe he'd had always wanted to try it.
I really want to see just fan art of like Soujyuro watching a crocodile documentary.
It would be so cute.
Please.
Hey, if I can find a reference of someone like sitting in front of a TV, I'll do it. I'll do it. To the best of my tiny ability.
Fair enough.
After 3 straight hours of crocodile watching, he wondered what it would be like to laze there for the remainder of the day, as he nervously checked over his shoulder.
I should probably go ahead and go to bed because I have to get up kind of early tomorrow because I have to help take my dogs to the vet.
Ah.
Okay,
Good night.
Later.
bye. And now you're trapped with me. Just as he was considering taking the opportunity to nap until Aoko and Alice returned, an unfamiliar sound echoed through the halls of the mansion.
Oh, I guess they're home.
But they don't normally knock.
True. Hmm?
Undergoing a sluggish evolution of his own, he rose from all fours to being a bipedal.
Real time.
There was a knocking sound at regular intervals. The sound, distinctly coming from the front door, was more familiar now. He had experienced it before during his days in the apartment.
新聞の勧誘か
A newspaper salesman?
As he made for the foyer, Soujyuro noted how impressed he was that they had hiked all the way up the hill.
I'm kind of sus of this.
Green outfit, green lady, green lady, green lady.
Man, this sucks. Frank and Seven are gonna miss this.
Well, that's for them to suffer through. They'll have to suffer through that thought. The sound resounded eerily. Granted, it could just be the bird.
Fair.
Without a doorbell of any kind, visitors had no choice but to rap on the door using whatever they had in hand. Like their own hand?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. It would take an iron-clenched fist to produce that kind of sound.
That's definitely scary.
So it's not a pecking sound, so it's probably not the bird.
That's horrifying. Soujyuro, don't answer that.
From his position in the hall, the front door looked like an ornately built fortification. The strong double doors looked as though they could withstand any onslaught of blows. It is very symmetrical. They rattled in protest to the repeated knocking. Try as this person might, it seemed no amount of energy and no amount of enemy attack could breach the castle gate. But Soujyuro, having experienced selling newspapers himself, announced himself.
はい今開けます
Oh no, Soujyuro.
Soujyuro, darling.
Just a second. Oh god.
He knew what it was like to be in their shoes, so was unsurprised by their unwillingness to surrender.
Oh my god, it's her.
There she is! Excitement.
おお
There stood the second surprise today. Soujyuro stood speechless and motionless. The young woman hardly looked the part of a newspaper salesman. Standing in the courtyard against a backdrop of the dusk horizon, she looked more suited to be a resident of this Western-style mansion, at least more than Soujyuro.
Oh god.
She had a dainty frame, but a striking presence nonetheless. She was a little shorter than Soujyuro, but tall for a woman. Her light green clothing was delicate yet flashy, and clearly something out of foreign fashion. Bold, but prim and proper. Though slightly loud, her appearance spoke of strength and confidence. The kind of woman not to be trifled with that Soujyuro knew all too well. Only, unlike the ones he knew, this woman appeared more friendly than intimidating. Perhaps it was her short hair that made her look more approachable. Bright and brown, it stopped just above the nape of her neck. Soujyuro, yet to say a word, thought what a shame it was to be so short. She looked at him and offered a smile. Despite looking older than Soujyuro, this made her appear impish and cute. I think he's having a meltdown. An internal meltdown.
God.
Soujyuro knew himself to be made of stronger stuff than to fall for cute smiles, and found it more than a little suspicious. At any rate, it was rude to stare for so long.
どちら様でしょうか
Can I help you?
He asked shyly, steeling himself. To which she replied,
こんばんは。青子います？
Good evening. Is alcohol? She smiled as she used Aoko's first name with a sense of familiarity.
Hmm.
青崎はいないんです
Aozaki ain't home right now.
She smiled again, this time devilishly, upon learning of Aoko's absence.
それじゃあ、クオンジさんも留守なんだ。
Then I take it Miss Koanji is away too. Soujyuro looked perplexed. This was the first time he'd heard Alice referred to by her last name only, and again spoke with customary respect.
そっか。
I
夜なら
see.
ともかく、
It's
日
nice
中
that
から
they
二
can
人
get
で出
out
かけ
during
る
the
とは
day
感
instead
心
of
感
only
心。
the dead of night.
Hmm.
形だけの雑居だろうと思った
I
けど、
was under the impression
Chat
living
umak
together
itteru
was
no
merely
ne.
a facade, but they really do get along. Soujyuro found himself nodding in response to her smile. Though it was clear she knew Aoko and Alice, she was giving him an uncomfortable feeling. Likely in her mid-20s, she didn't appear that much older than he was. Behind her carefree tone and bright smile, she was clearly trying to hide something.
それじゃあ、帰ってくるにしても夜。
So, they won't be home until the evening then.
はい終電前には
No.
帰ってくると思い
I
ますけ
expect
ど
them home before the last train, though.
そう。
I
ところで
see.
君、誰？
And who might you be? Soujyuro, ever so troubled by her forwardness, wanted to ask her the same. Alas, who are you? Was a question far too difficult for Soujyuro.
God damn it, Soujyuro, ask her.
すみません誰かと言われても
I'm
よくわから
sorry.
なくて
I don't really know how to answer that.
とりあえず
I guess
今
I'm
は
just
留守
house
番して
sitting.
ますけど
I'm a friend of
実は青崎の
Kawasaki's, to
友人
tell
なん
the
です
truth.
A response with not an ounce of truth to it.
Oh, come on. Kind of.
Kind of house sitting.
Kind of house sitting,
And you're
kind of a friend.
friends. Well, half and half. The young woman's face lit up at what she believed was the boy's attempt to tease her.
へえ、面白いこ
Aren't
と言う
you
の
a
ね、
funny
君。
one?
名前
What's
は
your
なんて言う
name,
の？
dear?
あの静木宗十郎というのですが
It's Soujyuro Suzuki.
His shy answer made her giggle. Soujyuro could not understand what he said that was so funny, but her laugh did not offend him. Rather than seeming derogatory, it came across as warm and affable. Then, after finishing giggling, she looked him straight in the eyes and gave him a soft look.
いや、気に入ったわ。
I think I like you,
宗十郎くんだっ
Soujyuro.
け？君には合わない名前だけど、それも暗示的で素敵だし。
Though it doesn't really suit you.
Oh.
そういうわけ
Now
で、
then,
お
pour
茶で
me
も入
some
れてく
tea,
れ
will
ね。
you?
He just walks.
あ、いや、
Huh? Wait.
She stepped past him into the mansion and swiftly left him at the door.
呆れた。ほんと以前
Oh
のまんまじゃな
wow,
い。
it's just as I remember it.
Hmm.
せっかくこっちに持ってきたんだから
I thought she
悪い
would
ところは
repair
リ
the
フォームしたもの
damaged
と思ったけ
pieces,
ど
but with taking the
何も
trouble to
柱
bring
の
them
歪みまで再現しなくてもいい
looks
よ
like even the
ね
warped columns are as warped as ever. She said, cheerfully inspecting the foyer. Soujyuro still stood at the entrance. The clicking of her heels on the wood floor jumped around as she moved towards the drawing room.
どうしたのこっちでしょ今は
Why are you standing there? The drawing room is this way, isn't it?
How do you know the mansion so well?
I know why. But I won't tell you.
She also knew that this is the fucking mage that they were fighting. Okay.
She disappeared from the foyer into the drawing room, oddly familiar with the layout of the house.
Yeah. So she is.
青崎かアリス。
Does she know Welzaki from school? Or maybe she knows Alice.
Soujyuro muttered to himself, walking to the drawing room. He entered to see the woman walking around the room gleefully. Like a child seeing a park for the first time in ages. Breathing in the nostalgia. Twirling as girls want to do. What?
I'm guessing that means like as girls are wont to do, but like
Yeah.
yeah, okay, whatever.
I think they should have put one to do, but alright.
このテレビって
Wait a minute. This TV is. She stared at the television inquisitively, perhaps owing to the fact that she had never seen a 30-inch television before. Awkwardly, the TV was still displaying images of the wild animal kingdom. Soujyuro wished he would have stopped the video before he answered the door.
もし
May I?
He blurted out, attempting to regain his composure. He had many questions, but first he resolved himself to, at the very least, ask her name. With that, she turned to him with a cold look on her face. She glared at Soujyuro over her glasses, her long and slender brows pointed at him, all as if to hint at a threat. A gaze that made him feel like he had chosen his words very poorly. Soujyuro apologetically clammed up. The young woman moved in.
やだな宗十郎くんもしなんてかしこま
Come
って
here, Soujyuro. May I? Really?
私そんなおばさんに見える
Do I look like some old lady to you? She snickered. Her disapproving glare melted into a teasing smile. Of course not. It would be more accurate to say she had the air of an older sister. Or, at least, that is how Soujyuro attempted to reply using only gestures, to which she grinned smugly.
よろしいなら
Very
そん
well
な他
then.
人行儀の話し方
Let's
は
do
やめ
away
ま
with
しょ
the
う
formalities,
つ
shall
ま
we?
らないし
They're beginning to
Gotcha,
bore
Naiva.
me anyway. She said, taking a seat on the sofa. Naturally and effortlessly, and without making a sound. Her posture and movements exuded sophistication. and she required no words to instruct him to hurry along and make the tea. Without pressing her further, Soujyuro headed to the kitchen. He figured she would not talk until she had some tea. He chose the falchion he was forced to replace once before, after using it without permission. Since she was here to see Alco, he would serve her the tea in Alco's server's teacup. Into the cup as blue as the ocean depths, he carefully poured the tea before returning to the drawing room. Gently, he placed the tea on the table and looked at the woman.
Forgive me for not asking earlier, but you're an acquaintance of Aozaki's. Yes?
Despite being told otherwise, Soujyuro could not help but stand on ceremony. He would actively have to try not to. Displeased or disappointed, she glared at him once again.
その青崎っていうのやめてくれない？
That.
なんだかくすぐり
It's
たくて
better you don't use
青子でいいでしょ？呼び方は。
It's beginning to grate on me. Just call her Alco. Ooh, I want to use this as the thumbnail. That's pretty. Yeah. Look at her. Elegance.
I know that Frank
said
is
no.
kind of sus of everyone, but like I'm hella sus of her.
She said not at all upset as she slowly raised the cup to her lips to take a sip. It was the kind of movement Alco and Alice might react to by berating the boy, but the woman chose to brush off with a smile. Though he did not realize at the moment, he would soon enough understand that some people didn't appreciate his efforts, regardless of whether they were misguided.
ほら、立ってないで座って。
The cup just
見
vanishes.
下ろされるのは好きじゃないんだ。
Come!
私
Don't just stand there. Sit! I don't like being looked down on. Soujyuro tilted his head, noticing a slight familiarity to the manner of her speaking. Almost as if he had been talking
To someone,
talking
I'm guessing.
to someone as he had seen before.
Wait a minute.
Looking at her sitting on the sofa, forgotten memories began to rise to the surface. Noticing his reaction, she became visibly delighted.
思い出した？私もちょっと
You
驚いた
remember
わ。
me. I can tell you I was as surprised as you are.
青子を訪ねに来たら、
I
い
came
つか
all the
見た
way here
君が
to
出
see
迎えてくるんだか
Alco.
ら。
Instead, I find you standing there to greet me.
Oh.
Now that she was laughing, Soujyuro remembered everything. He'd only seen her for an instant, but there was no mistaking it was her. It had been her, the woman smoking the long cigarette winning at the pachinko parlor.
I cut the cutesy music.
あの時は私もショックだったな。
Crazy, right? You gave me quite the fright that day.
宗十郎くん、目が
You
合う
took
なり
one
いき
look
な
at
り
me
逃げ出
and
した
ran
でしょ。
away.
そんなに私ってこわ
How
もてなのかしら
terrified
っ
you
て。
must think I am.
あの日の晩は
Reacting
真
like
剣に
that.
悩んだんだか
You
ら。
hurt my feelings, you know. She clearly enjoyed the memory. She was right. He mistook the shadow he had seen in the park for this woman and ran, though he had learned it was Alco a day later. Even though it was clearly a case of mistaken identity, now he knew why he had thought them one and the same.
そうか。
So
雰囲
that's
気が
why
似てるんだ。
they have the same hair.
Finally, he had realized the true identity of the woman before him. He chided himself for not realizing it sooner.
それじゃあ、
You
あなた
must
は
be
Just as he was about to say it, she held up her hand to interrupt him. She pointed at him, like she was aiming a gun.
Oh, God.
ごめんなさい。君の仕草がちょっと可愛くて
Give me, you're
からかいが
just
過
too
ぎちゃっ
cute. I got carried away with teasing you.
た。自己紹介が遅れたけど、
It's a little
私
late.
は青崎
But my
と
name is Toko Aozaki. It's the older
It's
sister.
her older sister.
Yes.
The one who got
Who's
the one who got like disinherited from her family.
basically.
Oh my God.
Well, but she chose to stop. I think. I don't know, but this is the older sister. Toko Aozaki.
So she recognizes the mansion because she was here training, presumably, with the
Does she
Kawonji
not have
family.
shoes?
No, she does.
Where do they stop? And where do they start?
I think it's just obscured by the shadows, but Huh.
Where do they stop and start?
I don't know. Anyways,
率直に言うと、青子の実の姉ってわけね。
Surprise, surprise! I'm Malko's big sister. That figures. You should have known.
pointed at him like she was pointing a gun. Yeah, just like Alco. She could have ended him right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that like he mistook her was because she was probably fighting her. Oh my God, she is the mage that's been fighting her, fighting Alice and Alco this entire time, and she's been trying to get into the mansion because she feels like it's reasonably it should be hers. Oh my God.
You're having a little bit of a spiral. Are you okay?
I think I can't tell if I don't know if I'm right.
I don't know if you're right. I just knew who this was, so I don't know anything past that.
Ooh boy.
With a smile that could impact courage to any that glanced upon it, Toko looked just like how Soujyuro imagined Alco would in the not-too-distant future. It all made sense. While Alco was earnest and diligent, Toko was shrewd and playful.
あの子が困ってるって聞いてね。
I heard my sister was in
No,
trouble,
don't give me that.
いい加減忠告してあげる
so I
気で、
came all the way
は
over
るば
here
る
to
やっ
set
て
her
きたわ
straight.
けなのでした。
Alco's sister chuckled coyly while sipping her tea. See, okay, but what if this is like a Vlog-Roa thing? Where, like, she really is here to help, and then there's like a bigger threat.
I mean, maybe, but we're also on chapter 9 of
also-
13.
That's true, but also the puppets look like her sister.
Yeah, the
which is,
puppets look
really
like her
freaky.
sister, so
So, well, I think she's got a weird
the puppet.
little sister.
Not only
complex
do the
of some
puppets
sort.
look like her sister, the puppets also utilize similar-ish magic to her sister. They fire up bullets.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
Granted,
I think
the
something's
weird
amiss.
extendo arms and stuff like that are like, you know, just like aren't stuff that Alco does, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Lured by her charm, Soujyuro sat on the sofa as well. He felt like he could relax a little now that the initial shock of receiving an unexpected guest had subsided. Just like that, it was almost 5 in the afternoon. Alco and Alice would be returning from their excursion soon. Would they? This was Misaki City's only subway line. Only half a year had passed since its opening, and at the end of the fairly new platform, there were 2 girls. There the 2 girls stood. The time was 6:30 in the evening. They had been idling for around 20 minutes since returning from Arisaka, and had yet to return to street level.
Aoko.
Alco. There was a hint of irritation in Alice's voice.
ちょっと待って。あともう一回だけ。ね。
I'm not done. Just one more, okay? Alco begged Alice, hands together, trembling from the cold.
What is Alco doing now?
It was rare to see her act this childish. There's no doubt Tobimaru would consider this behavior more strange than cute if he were there.
What the hell is she doing?
From the end of the platform, Alco peered into the creeping darkness to where the tracks led.
あなたの趣味変わってるわ。
You have the strangest taste.
Did she get something at the gift market, the gift shop or something? Like, what happened?
Maybe?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Any other day, and she would have been fine heading back by herself, but today she was in a good mood and decided to humor Alco. If possible, she would have liked to return still in good spirits, as such spells of possibility for her at least, tended to dissipate soon rather than later. Eyes calmly closed, her placid demeanor conveyed her feelings well enough. Thus the two of them waited on the platform alone for a subway train they had no intention of riding.
Please do.
The recently opened subway. High prices and low familiarity made the relatively few passengers coming from Misaki City. Thanks to the low foot traffic, the platform was still as good as new. There was something primeval.
Yes.
There was something primeval about their subway devoid of people. It was a picture of tranquility, free of human interference. Lifeless and silent. A land unmolested by living creatures, where only speechless organisms dwelt. I hate that sentence. Uncomfy.
Fair enough.
The artificial fluorescent lights highlighted its soullessness. It was a cave where the light ended and the shadows began. Rideless vessels disappearing into the darkness. The platform wedged between two tracks, like a jetty stretching out into
into a subterranean sea of black and subterranean. Sure.
A subterranean sea of black. In this place, far removed from the world above, Alco waited with eyes closed for the familiar rumble. It was Alco who proposed that they delay their return and wait on the platform. The reason was simple. Alco Exaki enjoyed the soothing sound of passing subway trains.
今年はもうライブハウスに行けそうもないし、
I
こ
won't
れ
be
ぐらい
able
の
to
わ
go
がままはい
see
いで
any
しょ
more live bands this year, so at least let me have this. She said to Alice, her eyes still closed. Alice did not even nod as 3 trains had already passed following her decision to stay with Alco. Silence again. Alco waited for the next train with anticipation. Alice sat and stared at the wall of the subway patiently. According to the display board, the next train was due to arrive in 5 minutes. From the dark tunnel came wind and rumbling.
Oh no.
A purposefully balanced, bounded field now surrounded the platform. There was no sign of any station personnel, and entrances and exits were few and narrow. With the lack of bystanders, the field was hardly necessary.
That's not great.
Suddenly, 6 figures appeared in front of the stairs leading to the surface.
Are they puppets?
All sharing the same face.
Oh my god.
Motionless, and with smiles like the crescent moon, they stared at Alco and Alice.
鈍っているにも程があるわね。
Never a dull moment. Alice let out a quiet sigh.
どうかしたアリス？
Alice? What's wrong?
どうも何も。この
Nothing
駅
at
で
all.
降りたのはあなたと
Did you
私だけな
notice
の。
you and I
気
were
づい
the
ていた。
the only ones to get off at this station?
そりゃね。相変わらずここの地下鉄
I
って
mean,
ば
the subway is
利用
usually
客が
pretty
少
dead
ないって。
anyway. Alco cut herself off by tutting in annoyance.
で、そういうアリスはいつ気がついたの？
I tipped you off.
憂鬱なことにたった今よ。
The impending gloom I felt a moment ago.
青子ばかり責められないわね。
This wouldn't
あな
have
たと私が
happened
一つな
if we weren't
らこ
together.
んなこともなかったの。
Not that I'm blaming you.
つまらない例え話は口にし
Like
ない。
I'm gonna let you have all the fun, please. Never moving or making eye contact. Their words stoic and calm. In contrast, the figures near the stairs began to stir. They advanced in unison on all fours, as though regressed to a quadrupedal state. Like human-sized ants. One after another, they swarmed forth. The din of clattering came not just from the platform entrances, but from the subway tunnel as well.
Oh god.
Oh, hi! See, but they don't have all the same face, though. That's a lie. At a glance, they numbered at least 30 strong. The creepy sound of skittering echoed off the subway walls.
信じられない。これだけの自動人形
Oh, this is
集め
ridiculous.
てるうちどころかフ
Kumasaki,
ランスの一等
with
地も
this
買えるん
many
じゃない？
automata, you could take over the whole of southern France.
ええ。もっとも
True.
こんな出来じゃ買い手は見つからないでしょ
Who
うけ
would
ど。
want or need that many?
なんだ。ガラクタはガラクタ
Whatever.
か。
Junk is junk. Junk is junk, right? One of the horde leapt forward in response to Akko's insult. It was a sudden charge, like a hurtling dump truck. Alice remained still. As though expecting the attack, Alco swung her right arm in an arc. The blue missile of light was easily repelled.
Oh.
Her magic bullet, snapped, had little to no effect against the puppets. They scrambled over each other like frogs, heads jerking and twisting in search of prey.
全部で30か。悪いけど、
I
一
count
人
30
でやらせてもらうわよ。
Sorry,
アリス
Alice, but I'm
こ
gonna
の
need you to
前の
hang back.
実力と思われたま
I
まじ
can't
ゃ
have
不
you
愉快だ。
thinking last time was my best. As she spoke to Alice, who was still standing next to the bench, Akko stepped toward the edge of the platform. Myriad?
Myriad.
Oh yeah, Myriad. From the myriad of regrets she still had from the amusement park, the House of Mirrors stunned the most. She was caught off guard in the previous engagement with those puppets. There was only one puppet.
There's one.
Okay. With adequate preparation and confidence, and Alice's backup, she would not let that happen again. It sounds like a typewriter. Igniting her magic crest, she would have revenge and be vindicated from.
私の後ろまで下がって青子。そこにいたら
Get behind me,
あなた
Alco.
まで食べてしま
You'll
う。
be toast if you stand there. It took Alice raising one finger to the sky for Alco to stop.
Oh.
Oh,
待って、アリス、それは。
Alice, wait, you can't! In the depths of the ocean black, the bells of night chimed out. The jetty, as if embraced by a sea of godlike Poseidon or Watasumi, was awash with white particles.
青子のやり方じゃ跡が残るでしょ
You always leave a mess, Alco.
う。もうじき次の電車も来るし。
Not to
それ
mention,
に
the next train will be arriving soon. And from beyond the white veil, her form blurred and stretched upward on tiptoes. Like a melancholy ballerina. The figures surrounded the prima ballerina bristled in response to the strange aura. Though puppets were inhuman, mystical vessels, they had far more reason to fear Alice than they did the human Alco. They began to flee. Whoever their master was, they sensed enough danger to order a retreat. However, it was too late. The lead dancer in this ballet had them captivated, unable to move, as if their Achilles tendons had been severed.
それに
And
気分を台無しにされたのは
it wasn't
あな
just
た
you
だ
who
けじゃないわ
ruined my mood. She moved her black glove. Unlike her mansion demeanor, her cool aura morphed into a fierce, biting cold one, freezing all in their tracks. Gloves floated to the ground. The white haze grew even thicker. The mass of shadows cried out for mercy.
さあごっこ遊びをしま
Let's
しょう
play a little then, shall we? Within the dense, nebulous mist, a dark fairy tale manifested. From inside, the only thing seemingly real was the sound of her voice, a macabre melody. Fun!
Oh.
Feasting, grinding, crunching. At last, the final puppet fell. On the walls, on the floor, on the ceiling. The tragic sounds of their demise filled the air.
You know, assuming that the bounded field doesn't, like, erase all of this whenever it's dissipated, that's gonna be hell for all the janitors just to clean up.
Mm-hmm. Their twisted shrieks plastering the subway surface like
Indelible?
indelible blood-like stains. All 30 of the puppets, promptly yet slowly as though to savor their taste, were completely devoured by the mystifying monster. All save one appendage, a lonesome severed arm on the platform.
持ってきてたのあれ
You were carrying that thing around this whole time? Alco spoke sideways to Alice, making no attempt to hide her disgust. A beast of the fog. One of her great three ploys, Kickshaw. The Meister's Rosehound, Wandersnatch. Okay. I think I know what the Wandersnatch is, but it's been a while.
I am unfamiliar.
It was a name carrying immense violence and devastation. Alco's words stung, since Alice was the one harboring its true form. The Great Three Ploys wielded terrifying, powerful curses. It was one thing to carry it around for self-defense. Keeping a secret from her companion did not amuse Alco in the slightest. It was like going out to eat with a grenade in your pocket.
Jesus.
まあ、次からは一言お願いね。
Well, I'm trying to type out Wandersnatch.
Fair enough. Dun, dun.
It keeps trying to auto-correct it to the Bandersnatch, which also sounds familiar. But it's a dog. Okay. Well, what the Bandersnatch is, I can tell you that, because it might be a mistranslation. Bandersnatch is a physical creature from Lewis Carroll's 1971 novel Through the Looking Glass, which, okay, that's probably
Where it is, yeah. It's all supposed to be like references to Lewis Carroll stories, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
So the
Alice.
Bandersnatch, yes, the Bandersnatch, in its description, it first mentions the Bandersnatch in the poem The Jabberwocky.
Right.
It's very brief. The narrator of the poem admonishes his son to shun the ferocious Bandersnatch. The name describes the creature fuming and furious character. You might as well try to catch a Bandersnatch. Okay, so they're very fast. They're apparently very, very fast creatures. But it was in the Jabberwocky, so yeah, it's probably not a Wandersnatch, it's a Bandersnatch. Just a mistranslation.
I guess so.
That, or maybe I'm losing my mind, and I'm completely wrong.
Maybe.
Anyways, it has the face of a frog, it's got wings and really long legs.
Alright.
And it wears a hat.
他のプロイもいいけど、今のやつだけは別よ。できれば洋館
Tell
限
me
定に
next
してほしい
time,
ぐらい。
okay? Other ploys are fine, but that guy? Leave him at home, will you?
悪かったわ。でも、
I apologize.
最近何も
It's
食べさせてな
just
かったから。
I haven't let him feed lately. So Alice walked slowly along towards the puppet arm rolling along the platform. What had just occurred made perfect sense. It needed to eat, so she let it eat. But the beast could not be seen, and there was no bloodshed on account of the victims being made of plastic.
Certainly looks like it, though.
Mm-hmm. Say, Alco. Alice said, picking up the puppet arm.
これを見て。私たちは今まで相手を人形使いと思っていたけど、
Until now,
正確には違った
we
み
were
た
thinking
い。
our opponent was a puppet master. But I think we were wrong.
わかる？この人形たちは新しすぎる。
Did you notice? These puppets were too new.
この子たちが作られたのは17世紀以後よ。
These had to have been made after the
信じがたいこ
17th
とだけど。
century, which doesn't make sense.
なんですって？
What did you just say? Those sounded contradictory. Automata typically performed better with age.
Of course.
After the 17th century, as the magical concept of using puppets and mannequins declined, automata suitable for combat became harder to produce. In recent years of automata manufacturing, Even low-rank familiars to be used in training could be produced inexpensively and with relatively decent quality. Therefore, it was common for modern puppet masters to collect parts made before the 17th century and use them in their creations. The high price of automata often came not from their combat abilities, but the rarity of the parts used to make them. However, the enemy mage controlling these puppets used them as fodder, as if they grew on trees. The only conclusion that could be made, therefore, was that their current opponent was a spoiled, rotten upstart mage with no territory of their own to control. Or so Alice and Alco imagined, anyway.
それともう一つ。
And another thing.
この構造は三崎市の
The
結界
internal
に似てい
design
るわ。
of these one is reminiscent of the ones from Misaki City's bounded field.
まるで自分たちこそが
Almost as if
こ
they
の
were
町を守る
soldiers
兵士だって
defending
主張
the
するぐ
city.
らい。
Alice presented the evidence to Alco, who was waving away the fog from around her. She felt profound surprise and then rapid realization.
そういうことな
You
の
see? So that's how it is. Alco muttered to herself, violently hurling the arm against the platform. Her face twisted with anger and a hint of fear.
惜しげもなく骨董品を出してくると思ったら
If you're going to send
そ
this
もそも
many
出し惜
things
し
at
むほ
us,
どのものじゃ
you
な
might
かっ
as
たわ
well
け
send the
か。
whole lot of them then.
確かにあの女なら町の結界にも反応しない
It's
し
like grandfather's bounded
私の欠
fields
点
didn't
も
have
知
any
ってて
effect
当
on
然
her. And that's
視
why
点
she
の
knew
大気
my
だって簡
weakness.
単にやっての
And
ける
that's
わ
why
よ
she
ね。
bound and removed the sigil so easily.
だって
I should have known. Alice quietly looked up in bemusement at Alco's furious ramblings.
青子これを作ったのは
So you're saying the
So
one
no.
who made these is none other than...
ええ昔から物を作ることに関してずば抜けていたからねあの
She
人
always
は
had me beat. Alco glared at the severed arm.
And she was always good at the magic that's used to break stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Anyways, you guys better get home. I think
Yeah,
I think your boyfriend is
I'm
in trouble.
surprised Soujyuro. Yeah, I'm surprised Soujyuro hasn't been killed yet. Furious at its creator and herself for taking so long to figure out it was her.
でもようやく合点がいった
But it all adds up now.
認めたくないけど
So just I
今
hate
回
to
の
admit
敵
it.
は間
Currently,
違いなく
our current
私の
enemy
兄貴
is my big scissor. Scissor?
Scissor.
my big sister. No doubt about it.
この土地の元継承者
She's the one who was
青
meant
崎
to
東
inherit
子
our
その人
land,
よ
Alice.
アリス
And she's trying to take it because she thinks it's rightfully hers. Great.
Yeah, well... I'm sure there's a big family dilemma going on. The desolate subway platform returned to silence. Alco words lingered uncomfortably in the air. Oh,
World's most terrifying animals.
well, great. A short time ago. Do you want to pause? Actually, you sound like you were yawning, so I don't want to.
I mean, no, I'm fine. I mean, I can go for like until the end of the chapter, I think, but if you want.
Okay. I mean, if you were okay.
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Then
I
we
don't need
can
to. I don't
continue.
need to wake up early or anything. So.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. A short time ago at the Kuwanji estate. I love how you say you can go until the end of the chapter when we have no fucking idea when the end of the chapter is.
I mean, I probably soon.
You would think that.
Within the hour.
The videotape finished playing. The VCR had automatically stopped playback, foregoing the need to hit the stop button to avoid the static storm. What remained on screen was the reflection of Soujyuro and Toko Aozaki sitting opposite each other in conversation.
秘密を知られたから先生なしの直
A
接
direct
攻
attack
撃
without warning
ね。
because her secret was exposed.
怪獣作を考
I'm
え
gonna
もし
just
ないのは
play
青子らしい
well
け
with
ど
others. It was hard to tell if she was being patronizing or indifferent. Toko Aozaki took a sip from her cup as she listened to Sojuro's story. She would have savored the
Anecdote.
antidote. That's how it's spelled?
Yeah, anecdote.
I thought there was an I in there.
Where?
Anyways. Anecdote.
Oh,
I thought there was one by the N and between the C and D. Anyways, she would have savored the anecdote about the amusement park. Kerfuffle. I love that word.
kerfuffle.
If it were not for the poor excuse for a cup of tea in her hands.
ありがとう。参考になったわ。
Thanks for that. I feel so informed.
ここしばらく青子とは顔を合わせてい
I
な
haven't
かっ
seen
たから
Alco in ages.
あの子がどんな風に成長したかなんて想像するしかなかったし。それと
I hope it's one
一応
worthy of
肉親として
destroying.
謝っておかないとね。
And as her sister, the least I can do is apologize.
災難に付き合わせて悪かったわ、宗
I'm
十郎
sorry
君。
you had to experience such a tragic event, Sojiro.
ほんと、あの子ったら
That
昔から
girl
迷い
does
って
have
も
a
のがなか
tendency
っ
to
た
be
から。
rather headstrong.
なさすぎると思います。
You said it.
Soujyuro was enjoying the conversation despite having to relive those events. About an hour passed by while the two of them sat in conversation, neither short on topics to discuss. Alco was an easy topic for both of them, so the conversation centered mostly around her.
ところで、さっきから気になってることがあるんだけど、
By the
聞いていい
way,
かな？
I've been wondering, and I hope you don't mind me asking. With courteous posture, her eyes shined with curiosity. Her elegant demure caused Sojuro's heart to beat faster. Is it above
気になってる
120?
ことですか？
Of course I don't mind.
Despite his caution, he couldn't help but show difference to her.
You think she's using some sort of like suggestion spell on him?
But it's Soujyuro.
I mean, perhaps, but he's also but he's also, you know, now has to be
I
pretty
think-
cognizant of the fact that he probably shouldn't be divulging mage secrets, right? Granted,
Well,
it
you would-
is so.
You would think that, but I think it can go either way. Either she's using a spell on him, or he thinks he can trust her because one, it's Alco's older sister, and he has no reason to not trust her family. She's obviously a mage, so for her to know the secrets of mage, he probably doesn't feel as if it's weird to tell her. I mean, obviously he's still cautious, but like sharing secrets like, hey, she almost killed me, I feel like it's something that he would feel okay sharing with her, since that is her younger sister.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, well.
We'll find out. Whether Toko found Soujyuro charming or not was unclear as she affectionately smiled at him.
ええ。一度目はダッシュで逃げられて驚いたけど、
You
今日は
surprised
違
me
っ
the
た
last
意味
time
で
you
驚かされた。
when you ran away, but today I'm surprised by something new.
ね、そういうのが若い子
Is
た
that
ちの流
some
行りな
kind
の？
of in vogue fashion accessory? Oh,
It's the.
はい。
It. Come again?
Toko tilted her head, her eyes fixated on the collar that Alco had given him snugly wrapped around his neck.
新手のチョーカー？でもどこから見ても
Is that a
Hold
new
on.
style choker? You know, I could swear it was. Bespectual?
Bespectacled. Bespectacled, I think.
The bespectacled woman. Oh, I get it, because she's got glasses.
Yes.
The bespectacled woman did her best to hold her tongue. On a completely unrelated note, in another decade, similar accessories would become a standard part of any visual key artist's wardrobe.
Oh my god.
I do own quite a few chokers
どこから見ても首輪ですよ。犬
that
用
are
の。
chunky, like collars.
Okay, thank you, Soujyuro. Oh, not at all. It's obviously a collar. For dogs.
やっぱりけど
I
そ
knew
の
it.
首輪すごく
It's
可愛い
very
わ
cute.
よく似合ってる
Yeah,
けど
very,
自分でつけ
very
たの
much suits you. Did you put it on? Toko stared intently, examining the strap. While he had never been very conscious of the collar till now, for some reason, Soujyuro found himself blushing.
はい。
Yeah,
のは自分ですけど。
put it on. By myself.
そうじゃなくて
God.
誰からもらったの
No, silly.
青子
I mean,
それともクオンジさん
who gave it to you? Was it Alco? Or perhaps Miss Kuanji?
くれたのは青子ですね。
Alco gave it to me.
Toko simply nodded in satisfaction at Sojuro's candid response.
つまり君は青子の持ち物なわけか
That makes you Alco's property. She coldly muttered. With this, the cordial atmosphere began to turn. Soujyuro nodded, naturally oblivious to the sting in her words.
何でも所有されて
She
るそうで
does
す。
like to own things.
He said casually, causing Toko to burst out in laughter. Toko was the quirky type of person to laugh when least appropriate. As her laugh tapered into a giggle, she picked up her now empty teacup.
じゃあこれも青子のでしょ
So
青っ
this
ていう
must
名前
belong
に
to
コンプレッ
Alco
ク
as
スがあ
well.
るくせに
How
可愛い
funny
ものが割
considering
と好
she
きだから
hates blue things on account of the blue character in her name.
そうですけど。
Yeah,
お
that's
かわり
right.
しますか？
Would you like another cup?
二人とも
I'm
まだ
not
帰ってき
sure
そうに
when
あり
they'll
ませ
be
んから。
back.
いいえそろそろ帰ってくる頃
thank
よ
you.
そうい
Actually,
う風に
they'll
仕
be
向けた
returning
から
shortly, as I calculated. Soujyuro casually nodded, still clueless to the premeditation of her visit. But then the strangeness of her phrasing dawned on him, and he tilted his head in confusion.
トウコさん。
Miss Toko.
Toko sighed once in response.
ごめんね宗十郎くんメガネ外してもいいかしら
Forgive me, Soujyuro, but would you allow me to take off my glasses?
She has mystic eyes.
She has mystic eyes. She 100%
She has mystic eyes.
eyes.
Oh my god. I guess that's fair, considering that Alco stole them from her. Or stole a pair of them from her.
No, she made.
Yeah, she made them, but like, didn't Alco like steal them?
Oh, I don't remember. All I remember is that she said that her older sister made him a pair of glasses. But that doesn't mean that she got them through legal means.
Yeah. In any case, she has mystic eyes.
She's definitely got mystic eyes. She's gonna look at him and he's gonna die. He wondered why she would need to ask for his approval, but nodded anyway to confirm his
Man,
consent.
Frank and Seven are missing out.
They really are.
それじゃあお言葉に甘えて
That's very kind of you.
もう少しぐらいは君の反応を見ていたかった
I
けど
do wish I could have enjoyed more of your hospitality. Doko touched the temples of her glasses. If you were to look closely enough, you might have noticed how her slender fingers were scarred small fine scars from years of repeated cuts. Instantly, her glasses fell away from her face, resigned to their fateful fall. It happened so fast, Soujyuro barely understood what he saw. Oh my god. She turns people into puppets.
Oh no.
Do you think that's what our mystic eyes do?
I'm not sure.
Ooh. The frame cracked into pieces as it slid down her face and onto her lap.
やるもんだ。30体を一瞬とはね。
Kudos to you, sister. 30 and 1 go. Not bad. Toko could sit behind her veneer no longer. By removing her glasses, the elegant lady of moments ago was gone. Any semblance of warmth and kindness had disappeared.
Oh no, it's Toko Nanaya.
What sat on the sofa was one deplorable mage, her demeanor darkening the room. Soujyuro sat speechless on the sofa. Across from him was a completely changed Toko glaring back at him menacingly. More malice and magical energy was now emanating from Toko than when Aoko tried to kill Soujyuro. She sat titillated at the prospect of the young boy's shock and fear at her transformation. Such expectations, however, were often left unfulfilled when it came to Soujyuro.
You broke your glasses.
Of fucking course. Soujyuro blurted out in surprise. Her hands stopped as she reached for a cigarette, the wind taken out of her sails.
That was unfortunate. Do you have another pair?
いや、そんなものはいいんだ。
No, forget that.
多少視力が落ちたところで大事にはならない。
To see correctly.
そもそも私がある限り、
As long as
五感による
myself
情報にすら
exists,
主観が
data
入る。
is received subjectively
すべ
by
て
my
この世は
five
霧の
senses.
中だ。
The entire world
もとも
is
と
in
目に見え
a
るだけ
fog.
のものは
You
信
can
じて
trust
い
what
な
you
いたちで
can
ね。
only see with your eyes.
So she has mystic eyes of...
Data receiver?
I'm guessing she has like some sort of clairvoyance.
We'll find out. Her speech had taken on a clinical tone. This too did not seem to shake Soujyuro.
そうですか。
Right.
それで
So
さっきの
what
言
you're
葉の意味で
saying
すけど。
is...
Soujyuro began, unflinchingly. Toko scowled back at him. After some consideration, she came to the conclusion she needed to be blunt with the boy. By some twist of fate, it was a headache she now unknowingly shared with her sister.
意味も何もない。青子たちの帰り道に多少の
I
障害を
placed
置いた
some
だけだ。
obstacles in Aoko's way
私が
to
こ
give
こ
us
にい
some
る間
time
は
together.
外で足止めをするように。君は青子の持ち物だと言った
You
な。
are merely Aoko's
なら
property.
ことさら丁寧に教えてやる必要もない。
Then I won't worry that pretty little
告
head of
白してしまう
yours.
とね、宗十郎
But I must confess, dear
私が
Soujyuro,
君たちの敵
I
な
am
んだ。
your enemy. Though he understood her words, the clock's second hand would rotate fully twice over before anyone next spoke. They sat across from each other, eyes locked. Sojuro's shoulders tightened nervously. He'd finally understood the true danger of the situation.
驚いた。
Surprised. Toko asked with a grin. Despite the spitting image of each other without her glasses, Toko's smile was rather sinister.
あなたは
Even
青崎
though
の姉なのに
you're Aozaki's sister?
Her smile pierced him as he asked the obvious. Toko was no longer surprised that Soujyuro would be more concerned about the safety of others over his own. Ayo, hero of justice.
Hero of justice?
In just one short hour, she had come to understand Soujyuro Suzuki better than he knew himself.
逆だよ。姉だから敵なんだ。
On the contrary,
私には青子からあらゆる権利を奪う義務がある。
I'm obligated to take away what's hers
物質的なものも精神的なものも
until
そ
I
の全てを
crush
踏みにじらなければ
every
気が済
last
まない。
thing she holds physically and emotionally dear.
尺度として言うなら、もし青子がこの町に頼っ
She'd
ていた
come
の
to
なら、
rely
まず
to
町から
relay
壊
on
して
this
いた
city.
んだ。
Then I will happily go so far as to destroy it.
けど、君のことは予想外だった。
I wasn't expecting you. Toko, her eyes closed, felt sorrow. Behind her troubled expression, there was a silent conflict.
世の平等に起こるべきか、
Oh my god.
偶然の出会いとやらに嘆くべきか。
I don't know if I should be angry at the
これも抑止力という
world
や
being
つかな。
impartial or lament this serendipity of life. I suppose it's all part of the counterforce.
Hey, Emmy,
Can you imagine? He just shows up in the room, shoots her, and goes, "Alright, bye." That would be an interesting effect.
無垢な部外者を手にかけるのは世の常だが、
Innocent outsiders getting killed all the time in this world of ours. But I've never met anyone quite like you.
いや、そもそもいるなどと考えたことさえなかったな。
Never imagined a guy like you could exist. Toko sighed at the feeling and stirred in her seat. She seemed to have overcome an unexpected moment of uncertainty.
君は青子の切り札には見えない。
You don't look like Alco's ace in the hole.
排除しておくまでもない。善良かつ
The
無能
dim
な
but
部外
nice
者だ。
stranger. Too pitiful to put out of his misery.
だから放っておきたいのだけど、
But as much as I
私
want
の
to
六
leave
感
you
が
be,
こう告げているんだ。
my sixth sense is screaming at me that I should erase you
い
now.
いからさっさと済ませてしまえ。
More plainly put, she made up her mind to kill him. Though Soujyuro was somewhat flattered at how she was glossing and
grossly inflating, I think. Grossly inflating, yeah.
Yeah, grossly. She was grossly inflating his importance in all this. What dawned on him was the fact that, though karmic irony, Toko had inevitably arrived at the same conclusion as her sister. However, this was no time for idle thoughts. Soujyuro readied himself to stand up from the sofa in such a way as to not draw attention to the plan.
Plan.
No, plan. To the plan so clearly written all over his face. Make a run for it.
バカ者。こういう時は半端に動くな。
Silly boy.
逃げるならさっさ
Don't
と
give
逃げ
yourself
る。
away like
交
that.
渉するなら
If
テ
you're
コで
going to
も動く
run,
な。
then run. But if you value your life, then don't move a muscle.
なんというか、
In
そ
other
んな風
words,
に動か
you
れる
won't
と、
make it
そ
halfway
の
to
気
the
が
door
なくとも
before
つ
I
い
get
反応
you.
してしまうだろう。
Now be a good boy
Ora.
and sit still.
命が惜しいのなら、おとなしく固まっていなさい。
殺さない
So
んです
you're
か
not gonna kill me.
今のところは
I
ね、
didn't say that.
私は君が気
For
に
the
入っ
time
たし。いや、
being, I like you, Soujyuro.
違うな。
Well,
正しくは
not
こ
exactly. The truth is,
私ぐ
I
らい
may
しか
be the only one who
君を
can
救ってあ
save
げられないのかもかな。
はい。
What?
She looked at the perplexed Soujyuro straight in the eyes. Though actually brown, her eyes gleamed a piercing red like the edge of a blade. Those are some goddamn mystic eyes. It was at that moment an overwhelming sense of dizziness overcame Soujyuro. His mind went numb, like he couldn't tell who he was. As if he was drifting into a sinister sleep from which he would never wake up. Soujyuro clenched his jaw, desperate to maintain consciousness. Toko's eyes devoured him like a bottomless pit of quicksand. And in that moment it all became clear to him. It no longer mattered that she was Alco's sister, or that she was Alice's sworn enemy. Toko Aozaki's deadly battle with the girls had become his battle. Which is why, when you find yourself feeling a special spark from a stranger met mere moments ago, that feeling is not to be trusted. For you may simply be attempting to fill an emptiness with the same mold as yours, for more emptiness. Soujyuro tried to drag his body away from the
Tier 2 for unencountered?
Unencountered sense of danger, but found that it would not respond. What the hell is a heterophore?
Tier 2 for?
Is it here
Yeah.
2-4?
Tier 2 for unencountered.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't see the other E. I didn't see the other E in here.
It'd be like that.
It really do. Toko tilted her head forward at him, eyes fixated on him.
君の思う通り、私は君
Your
と似たとこ
instincts
ろが
weren't
ある。
wrong.
それとも君が私に近いのかな。
Or
何？
maybe
食べ
you're
物の
just
好き嫌い
close
程
to
度
me.
の類似だが、
Maybe
軽視す
we're
ることでもない
picky about all the same foods. Something to consider.
問題は、君が私より偏ってい
You're
る
more
ということでね。
biased than I am. Biased. She clearly used a different definition of the word than the one Soujyuro knew. Biased. It meant that he was alone, that he was an outsider, who didn't belong in this town. A sudden and seething anger eclipsed his gentle heart.
俺一人じゃないですけど。
Angry Soujyuro.
Angry Soujyuro, what will he do?
But I'm not alone.
Soujyuro shot back with all the
Enmity.
Enmity.
Yes.
He could must. Mouse said no. As he faced this witch named Toko Aozaki. If he had not, he feared he would never escape her gaze.
だろうな。だから
See?
こそ君は偏っているんだ。
That's precisely
早くそ
what
れに
makes
気
you
づきなさい。
biased. And the
一番
sooner
手っ
you
取り早い
realize
解
that,
決
the
は
better.
それでいいんだと認めることだ。人間なんてたくましいもんでね。
Humans are
別
hardly
に何もかも
creatures.
放り投げて
No
も
matter what
うま
life
くいくも
throws
の
at
な
them,
のさ。
they find a way to survive. Are hardy. Humans are hardy
青子には
creatures.
それは許せない。
But
あれは他人であれ、
Alco,
あらゆることを許さない人間だからな。
because she's the sort of stranger who can't stand anything. Toko leaned over the table. She reached out, grabbing Sojuro's collar and roughly pulled him toward her.
いや、そんなことはいいんだ。
But enough about her.
ただ純粋
All I
に
care about is getting to have
私
you.
は君が欲しいと
In
思う。
fact, I wanted you from the moment you whispered
自分
your
の名
name.
前すら定かではないと名乗った時にね、自分の認識が不明で
You,
自分自身が不
with
能
your
と感
lack of
じ
self-awareness and your sense of powerlessness.
未来というものがとても自分に
Future
関わ
must
りのあ
seem
るこ
like
ととは
such a
思えない
foreign concept to
となれ
someone
ば
like
必
you.
然心情は過去へ
Your
の逆行
mind
を試みる
inevitably looks to the past.
しかし所詮ソアの前のモアのように正常
But just
な流
as
れ
a
の前には
boy,
時間旅行は
the
押し戻
lesser,
さ
the
れてし
lesser
まう
self comes before the soy, the greater self. The normal flow of time will always reject time travel.
それも私にあって君にあるものだ
It's the same for me as it is for you.
なんて無様な私
I've done it again,
なん
haven't
て
I?
哀れな
How could you possibly even begin to? Toko trailed off mid-sentence. As she pulled Soujyuro closer, her own eyes reflected in his. She noticed the merciful expression on her face. Soujyuro got to thinking. He had no hostility towards this woman. He bore her no grudge, harbored no desire to kill her. He was aware only of his anger and aimless compassion. He wished that he could give her the answers she wanted. But
あなたの言っていることは
I don't really know what you're talking about.
Soujyuro replied apologetically. A verbal reply to the visible question he perceived in her eyes. Toko showed no sign of disappointment. Instead, the corners of her lips turned upward in delight.
そうか君には
Of
言葉の暗示は
course,
通じないん
you
だ
wouldn't
な
comprehend the language of Magecraft.
意味深なセリフ回しで丸飲みにしてや
Here
ろうと
I
も
am
思ったが
trying to wax
Yes,
philosophical
bye,
to you.
小綺麗な建前は逆効果だった君
Small
にはむき出しの原始的な語りの方が良かったん
Courtesies,
だ
yeah.
な
courtesies. Small courtesies can have the opposite effect, after all. They should have put in plainer, more primitive terms.
いいよますます気に入った
Oh, I do like you, Soujyuro. Her fingers dug into his throat as if she were tearing at the leather. Perhaps he could be hers if only she could rip it off.
少年青子なぞより私のもとに来い
Sweet boy. Leave Alco and be with me.
使い道はないが保護ぐらいはしてや
I
る
may not have a use
手
for
が空い
you,
た時なら
but at least
気
I
晴
can
らしに愛し
protect
て
you.
やってもいい
Or maybe if I'm bored, you can be my plaything. Man, this is a Wendy's.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Man, this is a 7-Eleven.
Man, this is a 7-Eleven.
It had taken many approaches, but she seemed to have decided on this one. The lengths to which she went to seduce him were not lost on Soujyuro, and truth be told, they're not wholly unwelcome.
Only mostly. And I'm listening to that mostly.
It's mostly, but there's a little bit. Just that she's pretty. But back to the matter at hand.
それはお断りします
Respectfully decline.
Soujyuro chose the direct response as he did.
なぜ
Why?
だってあな
Because
た
it
のため
wouldn't be
になら
good
な
for
い
you. In what way?
Right? He had confidence in that at least. Toko's overestimation of his aside, Soujyuro knew for a fact that he had to escape this woman's clutches.
That's a word.
This this tete-a-tete. That's what I'm going with.
Sure.
tete-a-tete could only be concluded by one of its two participants, Toko, or the individual she was currently infatuated with. I think this is illegal, madam. On a hunch, the boy mustered all the convictions he could feign. She gently removed her hand from his collar and jabbed him in the chest, causing him to topple back onto the sofa.
そうか。なら仕方がない。
Very well. That's the way it must be.
君も青子の大
I'll
切
just
な
have
持
to
ち物
think
と
of
し
you
て
as
考える
Alco's
ことにしよ
personal
う。
property then. The scarred red mage quietly stood up.
青子が帰ってくる頃だから私は行くよ。
Well, Alco will be here any moment. I'd best be on my way.
青子では私には勝てない。
She has no
とだけ
chance
伝
of
えておいてく
defeating
れればいい。
Tell her that for me. Won't you?
それはいいんですけど。
Sure, but
Sojuro's reply from Sopa? I keep fucking saying so. Anyways, yeah. From the sofa stopped the exiting Toko in her tracks. Then, like a student humbly inquiring of a teacher, Soujyuro pointed to the object in Toko's hand and asked,
そのカップ
what are you
どうす
gonna
るん
do
です
with that cup?
Surprised, she looked down at the teacup in her right hand and then she had forgotten she was holding it. She hadn't even realized that she'd been holding the cup the entire time.
これ
Oh,
せっかくだからもらっていく。
nice. I might as well take it with me. The act of taking something without the owner's permission is commonly referred to as theft. However, this was more likely the typical relationship between Alco and Toko. Share and share alike, and so forth. Soujyuro nodded to show that he understood. Unsure if his nod was sincere or not, Toko smiled that gleeful grin for the second time since taking her glasses off.
やはり変わり種だね、君は。
You certainly are
逸材かどうか
odd
は
one.
別の話だが。
The question of your worth aside. For just a moment, she had returned to the affable Toko Awazaki he met before the glasses came off. Leaving him with the image of her smile, she departed the mansion. Her broken glasses remained sitting on the drawing room table. We're home! No sooner had the eerie visitor left did Alco and Alice return.
Soujyuro was fighting for his goddamn life.
He really was.
Ooh.
While they were enjoying a sunfish.
Yeah, that
Despite
sunfish was
Alco's-
being fished.
Despite Alco's sour mood, she seemed as merry as ever. Despite everything that had happened, and their trip having its fair share of problems, she still had fun. Whereas Alice was her usual stone self. With a form not unlike a parent following behind a rampaging toddler, cleaning up their mess. The scene of their return was like something out of a TV sitcom, and lost in thought, Soujyuro forgot to greet them.
宗十郎、留守中何かあった？
Did anything happen while we were out, Soujyuro? Alco asked, more so out of etiquette than curiosity while removing her coat. Yeah, your sister showed up. Without answering, he stood up from the sofa.
そりゃ半日分の出来事はあったけど、
It took up half my day, actually.
それより寒かった
Other
だろ。
than that, it was just
お茶
cold.
を入れようか。
Want me to make some tea?
ああ、お願い。こっちも一
Yes,
から作戦練り上げようってとこだから。
You can't plan anything without a hot cup of tea in your hands. So is he just not? Okay. Soujyuro was on his way to the kitchen for her tea even before Aoko had finished her upbeat response.
なんだろ
Wait a minute.
うどこか
Something feels off.
He was following his same tea pouring routine as always, but somehow something didn't feel the same. As though in a trance, Soujyuro returned to the drawing room where they were sitting down and placed the tea on the table.
これからどうするつもりなの、アオコ。
What do you intend to do now, Aoko?
とりあえず足で探すしかないわね。
We'll have to
あい
search
つ
for
相
her
手
on
に守り
foot.
に入るのはよくない
Can't。play
こっ
this
ち
one
が城壁を作って
defensively.
る間に一
If
個
we
師団の人形を
If we
こさえ
spend
かね
time
ないわ。
fortifying defenses here, she'll just have more time to create more puppets. They conversed with each other while ignoring Sojuro's presence. Upon hearing what they said, he stood up and spoke abruptly.
探すってトウコさんを
Are you gonna look for Miss Toko?
それ以外誰を探すって。
Yeah, who else would we...
ちょっと。あんた、今なんて言ったの？
Wait, what did you just say?
トウコさんなんだろう
Toko.
青崎たちの敵
She's
は
your enemy, right?
さっきまで
You
こ
just
こ
missed her.
にいたよ
He answered so casually, Aoko's standing there dumbfounded. Alice stood up from the sofa and went to where the two of them were standing. Her typical kind and somber features turned reproachable.
しずきくん、その人、何かしていった。
Suzuki, tell me exactly what she did when she was here.
お茶を飲んで
We drank some
メ
tea.
ガネを外し
Then
て
she
帰っ
took
て
off
い
her
っただけだ
glasses.
けどあれ
Huh?
よく思い出せないな
I can't remember anything after that. Hmm.
I guess it's their forget me eyes. In a sense.
Maybe.
Key,
Hmm?
the lights, they're not in his eyeballs.
Oh.
He has no eye shines.
Hmm.
What was once a clear memory seemed to have been scrubbed clean from his mind. Soujyuro was overcome by the same dizziness he felt before. Oh, God. A sharp, dry smack echoed through the room. What snapped him out of his haze was an unexpected slap from Alice. You know what? I had a feeling she was gonna smack him for letting some bitch into her house.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
二度は言わないわ。他人を私の家に立ち入らせないで。
Never let anyone else into my house. Deep within her eyes, beyond the normal cool indifference, was an intense fury. Realizing, however, that it was no ordinary anger, Soujyuro understood how careless he had been.
すまない
Hmm.
アリ
I'm
ス
sorry.
ここが大事な
This
場所な
place
の
is
は
very important to
分
you.
かってたのに
I should have known better.
Heavy silence followed. Both Soujyuro and Alice stood there, chained to the spot by their own regret. Aoko looked on in amazement, wondering if they would stay this way all night if left alone.
あのね、姉貴を通した宗十郎も悪いけど、
I
言ってなかった
know
アリスも
Soujyuro
悪
is
いで
at
しょ。
fault for letting my sister in, but Alice, you never told him I shouldn't.
To be fair, you guys didn't tell him anything.
You really didn't.
子供じゃないんだから、いつまでも反省してないで、もっ
So
と
how about
前
we
向
put
きに
this
話を
behind
し
us
な
and
い？
focus on the problem at hand, okay? You're one to say not to act like children. Alice hung her head and sat back down at Aoko's insistence. Soujyuro stood where he was, nursing his stinging right cheek. Okay, baby. He's gonna be okay. Pain was pain, but he knew how to take a nod.
So are the glasses still on the table?
They should be. I don't think he moved them. more to the point, the crisp strike from Alice snapped him out of his fog, jogging his memory.
思い出した
I remember.
青子じゃ私
She
には
told me
勝
to
てな
tell
い
you
って
that you have
伝
no
えておい
chance
て
of
ほしいっ
defeating
て
her, Alco.
大した自信ね。他には？
Pretty full of herself. Anything else?
他は
She also said,
基本的に
well,
世間
most
話
of
だ
it
った
was
という
small
か
talk. To be honest, she said a lot of other stuff that I didn't really understand.
よくわからないことを口にしてたな
Like how she liked me? That was weird. Considering the small talk was mostly about Alco and her flaws, Soujyuro decided it was better to take that part to his grave.
大河とショウガ？あの人、インドにでも行ってたのか
She
しら？
mentioned the greater and lesser self. I wonder if she's been to India.
ところでソウジュウロウ、あんた、
In case you didn't
姉貴に
catch
何
on,
かされたわ
Soujyuro,
ね。
she must have done something to you. Alco turned to him, glaring at him sharply. He had nothing to be ashamed of, but he looked away guiltily anyway.
何かって
She did?
何さ
What'd she do? Exactly.
思い出せないとか言ってた
You
で
said
し
you
ょ？
couldn't remember what she
さ
said,
っきまで
right?
の態度もふ
Up
わふ
until
わ
a
してた
second
し。
ago, you looked like a zombie.
そうか。メガネを外したまでは覚えてたってことは、
You remember
マガン
right
にで
up
も
to
見ら
when
れ
she
たか。
took her glasses off, which means you must have been entranced by her mystic eyes. As quickly as she had jumped to that conclusion, Alco went quiet again, as if the information was of little importance. It was kind of important.
I would like to know what it was.
I would very much like to know what name we've given these mystic
Me,
eyes. I
Keith,
think
not Soujyuro. Me.
me, B, and he, Keith. We would like to know. Please and thank you. But it was not enough to detract Soujyuro from bringing it up again. Do you know what's funny? I imagine that if someone has, gotten this far in the video and all that, they they leave a comment of like, oh, these are her mystic eyes, but we've already figured it out by the time this video goes up.
Fair enough. Yeah. Real.
I really do be like
do.
that.
青崎マガンってなんだ
What are mystic eyes?
They're none of your importance.
魔力を帯びた目のことよ。簡単
Eyes
なものは
infuse
一時的
magical
な混
energy.
乱を。
Simple forms
上
of
級な
mystic
ものは
eyes can
睨んだ
cause
だけで
temporary
相手を
confusion,
殺す
while more advanced ones can kill with just a glance. Stuff like that. Seeing lifelines.
Kill with just a glance is stuff. Usually, I mean, kill with just a glance is exclusively the eyes of Balor, which are the ancestors of the mystic eyes of death perception. Balor being the Irish, I think, Celtic, something like that, Celtic god of death. Yeah.
ま、バロールみたいな魔眼の持ち主なんて伝説だけだし、そもそもそんな魔眼持ちが生まれてくるなら、私たちの悩みもあっさり終わるってものだけど。
Eyes like that, we could really use them right about now. Someone go find a baby Shiki. She doesn't even have. He's not even.
No,
born
he's not
yet.
even
I think
born
he's
yet.
He's probably not even a sperm cell yet.
No, probably not. Yeah, no, he wouldn't be born for like 5-ish years.
Probably more. Well, she's not. Isn't she like 25?
Aozaki
Yeah.
in Tsukihime.
Yeah.
In the remake, she's in her 30s, I think. Because this takes place in 1989. Tsukihime remake takes place in 2014. Granted,
Math.
see, granted, the Aoko meets Shiki before the events of Tsukihime,
And he's 17.
and he's 17
in 2014.
2014.
And it's been 7 years. So
2007.
so 2007 is when they would meet. This is 89.
And Aoko is, I think, 16?
Yeah, so it's about carry the 1, drop the 2.
I can't do math because this is my computer, not my
17 years?
my totally legal
17 years?
17 years.
ish. So like, that's 14. So 4. Yeah, she'd be about 34 by the time she
Gotcha.
Shiki. Math. I did that real quick. Okay. Oh, I'm kind of proud of myself. I did that quite well. I'm usually shit at math.
Yeah. In any case.
Without further context, Alco knew her explanation was completely lost on
Not me.
Soujyuro.
I got it.
Yeah, we got it.
そうね。
So, yeah.
わかりやすく言うと、私のマダンみたいなのを目から照射するようなもんよ。
Only you use your eyes to
You know what? That's actually a pretty good explanation.
Yeah.
目から青崎か。
You can shoot bullets from your ass.
Soujyuro's confusion deepened along with Alco's frustration.
だから、あなた、一度目を閉じた後の
Anyway,
トーコの目を見たんでしょ その
You
一瞬
looked
で
into
姉貴のマ
Toko's
ガンに
eyes
捕まっ
after
たっ
she
てこ
blinked
と。
once, right? That's the moment she got you with her mystic eyes.
目を猫名詞に入れ替える魔術師もいるけど、
Some
姉貴は
mages
そんな
even
ことする
replace
必
their
要はな
eyes
いから
with cat eye stones, but my sister doesn't need to bother with
She
that.
was just born that way. She doesn't need to carve her own mystic eyes using stones.
あの人、生まれながらのマガン持ちだしね。
She was born with hers.
さしたる
She
準備
didn't
も
even
栄
need
唱
to
もなし
say
で、
anything to
シャッ
use
ター
them.
するだけで切り
She
替え
could
自
just
由なの。
blink like a camera shutter. Soujyuro pounded his fist in understanding. Now he thought about it, he vaguely remembered her doing something exactly like that. Everything after was foggy and muddled, and her mystic eyes seemed to be the only logical cause.
その話は分かったけ
That's
ど、
one, Mr. Salt.
トウコさんは
But Aozaki,
青崎のお姉さんなん
Isn't
だ
she
ろ
your sister?
なんで姉妹
Why
で
would
殺し合いを
sisters
して
try
る
to
んだ
kill each other?
Because she's an asshole. He knew it was nothing he should ask, but he did it anyway. The question was against the rules. He had no business being involved in this dispute. Akko closed her eyes to collect her thoughts. She decided it was best for all involved to at least share some background information, if only to head off further questions.
いいわ、話してあげる。姉貴に関わった以
Here's
上、
what you need to
事
know
情を説明しておか
now
ない
that
と
you've
危ない
met
し。
her. Besides, keeping you in the dark would be more dangerous.
けど、なんであれ聞き返すのはなしね。
But
この
no
件
more
に関しては
questions.
私は
This is my
私の事情を
story to tell.
話すだけだから。
Got it? She stared down Soujyuro until he nodded slowly in recognition. Knowing him, she knew this was confirmation enough. The conversation was becoming oddly friendly again, but Alco sat up a little straighter as she prepared to tell the tale.
姉貴の話をするってことは、私と青崎の家の話と、何より魔術と魔法の話をしないといけ
Okay,
ない。
this is where we need to stop because it's almost 4
Okay,
a.m.
yeah, that's fair.
So let's attempt sleep. I believe in us. I gotta stop recording.